Make a life for myself. 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 Make a life for myself.
Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Tryna impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Tryna impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Yeah, you know I'm back like black tracksuit with a black top cap. People love to try, people love to lie. People forget stuff, remember that. We done them good, do you remember that? We needed someone, here's the facts. But people love to try, people love to lie. Yeah, this is London, mind the gap. Living life just multitasking. Smile like a horror movie, I'm laughing. Motivated and focused, crafting. Dash something in a break, all your eggs in a basket. Can't handle it, why you asking? Can't handle it, why you asking? Can't handle it, why you asking? Please don't try it. Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Tryna impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Tryna impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Yeah, you know I'm right. Vibes are here when I am outside. Born for the flows to keep the flows tight. Tell me why they love to lie. Soul is dark but the mind is bright. Nocturnal, we live for the night. You wanna try but yeah, not quite. Monster with the bars, yeah, I might bite. If I have to, I tighten up the mic. See me, I don't do it for the likes. Keep it Air Max, yeah, like my knives. Ooh, I like to plan before I strike. But what do they know? Frequency's high, it never gets low. But yeah, what do they know? You're dripping in drama from head to toe. Nah, nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, tell them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Trying to impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always, nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, tell them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Trying to impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Loading, strike with the lyrics like I'm bowling. Keep pushing on, keep rolling. Didn't wanna listen, but I told him one more time. Your favorite MCs, bronze or silver. These raps here are golden. Cards on the table, there's no folders. Spit bars at the club, zoning. TikTok come to London, get ripped off. Man get pissed off when I start lift off. Sweet like flavors, cookie and biscuit. Round here, yeah, the bars I get ripped off. Picked up myself, yo, every time I tripped up. Little petty the big rock. Me and my G's do everything mixed up. Full circle, that everybody linked up. That's irrelevant, memory like an elephant. Keep it hard, but you know that it's elegant. Get mad, but always benevolent.
And
Welcome to the grand finals day of Samsung Odyssey Challengers Northeast. My name is Twiggy. I'm joined today by Zesht once again, and it's going to be such a good day. It's going to be such a banger day of Valorant. We got Team Liquid Academy versus Enterprise Esports, two champions up against each other for stage 3 to find out once and for all who is the top dog in Northeast. Zesht, how you doing?
I'm doing perfectly fine. You just said it there, right? You have the stage 1 champions, the runners-up of stage 1 became the champions of stage 2, and now who's going to take home more trophies throughout the year? Who's actually going to dominate the region? In the long run, we're going to find it out right here in this best of 5 series, which has a lot of implications. It could be a super long one, could be done within 3 maps. We're going to talk about that in just a moment.
Yeah, for sure. Let's take a look at the playoff bracket that got us here so that we can reminisce about the teams that we've lost along the way, the teams that have made such interesting games for us. We started with 8, obviously, in the playoffs here. We are down to 2 now. The top 4 teams get into Challengers EMEA, so that is Detty Elise, Boars, Team Liquid Academy, and Enterprise Esports. It will be representing Northeast, but obviously it all culminates in this final game today. A best of 5 between Enterprise Esports and Team Liquid Academy. Enterprise Esports get that upper bracket advantage. I mean, Team Liquid Academy are no strangers to facing the upper bracket advantage. You got to remind yourself that not only yesterday did they start with not being able to ban a map in that best of 5, but the grand finals of not last season, stage 1 as well. They came out with the lower bracket disadvantage as well. Still came through and over 5 maps. Keep in mind, well, again, these kind of stats with Team Liquid Academy, insane stuff. They have now played 3 best of 5s over the course of the year, and they have won all of them in exactly 5 maps. So, look, if history is any kind of indicator, I mean, it's their biggest test so far, but they seem to know what they're doing in these best of 5s.
Okay, so first of all, let's take a look at yesterday's tweet. Yeah, because yes. I agree with you. I mean, in the long run, they're doing great, but getting in the long run is the key thing. That thing could have yesterday been a 3-0. It's something that we really need to remind ourselves of, that Corrode was on the verge of going for Detty Elise, and then it would have been a quite quick series. Yeah. However, and this is one amazing feat, if you ask me, from the guys of Team Liquid Academy, young, inexperienced players to a certain extent, who are able to really get shaped and formed into going all the distance and then prevailing. Respect. Great work from everyone in charge within this team. However, I still have to say, and this is maybe the little nuance we need to add into this, I don't think Team Liquid Academy yesterday was a strong Team Liquid Academy. It was it was a solid Team Liquid Academy, but it was not yet a strong Team Liquid Academy. And this is the thing that we need to see today. Are they suddenly going to be strong? Are they fatigued? New ideas, new plans? We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, GSR said so himself in the interview we had with him post-match. Those first 3 maps were very rough for them, and they felt like they just weren't playing to their ability. Apparently, in the break between map 3 and map 4, Bacon told them, if we even play to 80% of what we can, we win this easily. And in the end, it did seem relatively easy over those last 2 maps. But yeah, those first 3, definitely, there was a struggle there. And these are 2 sides of Team Liquid Academy we see. Look, Enterprise Esports, they have been in the playoffs every single season so far of 2025. Team Liquid Academy, they were a no-show in stage 2, right? Because they had this kind of trouble. They have these 2 modes where they're either on or they're not. And that is what we need to see today if they want to have a chance against Enterprise Esports, the champions of not just Northeast, but EMEA.
Yes, and I mean, you know, that they did that in stage 2. Beating BBL Pacific was already something that I think hardly anyone saw coming. Undefeated Turkish super team that nobody was even coming close to, and somehow they were the ones to beat them. And I think this Enterprise Esports is looking extremely dangerous, extremely strong, and extremely worrisome when you're on the other side. However, and this is the interesting part, their recent results, Twiggy, they didn't necessarily look like they're dominating every team in this league. No, it was always getting close, losing a map here and there, 13-10s, 13-11s. It was not 100% convincing.
I think this is something I did kind of bring up in interviews with them at some points where, you know, obviously they're in control of things, because otherwise they would not be where they are. They wouldn't be the champions of EMEA if they weren't able to be better than every team. And look, this is a team with such stacked talent. You take a look at this, it's these kind of old guard names that you've seen in VCT before, alongside some new talent. This is a brilliant team, but yeah, they always seem to just about rise to the occasion. I'm not sure whether that is them, I don't know, just not being able to kind of fight back unless they're given something to fight against. But either way, yeah, you are right. They have kind of opened the door for a lot of teams to be able to take advantage of them. It's just that nobody quite has so far.
Exactly. I mean, you say it right here. Funny stories. I think everyone on this team except Jazz is a champion one way or another. You got German champion or EMEA champion, VCT, it doesn't even matter. But it's kind of interesting to see, to be honest, that this is the polar opposite, right? You have a team full of youngsters, so to say, another one full of fairly experienced players. I mean, what is really interesting is obviously one of the biggest swaps they made from stage 1 to stage 2 is not playing on the server, so to say.
No, it is in fact their coach, right? A big change going on, and they have sung the praises of their coach, Alex. I mean, there has been a very noticeable improvement. I do think a lot of that can be put down to the playstyles that they've adapted to, and you know, just the more kind of solid they've gotten since stage 1 over to stage 2. They were kind of, you know, when they got into the playoffs of, sorry, not the playoffs of Challengers EMEA, when they got into Challengers EMEA, we didn't really think they were going to do all that much, and they didn't. They got grouped just like every other Northeast team, but then stage 2, a completely different monster.
Absolutely. And I mean, Alex is saying it right here. As we know, they're basically set for Ascension, right? No matter their placement in Challengers 3. However, the plan is simple. We want to win everything from the top seed in Ascension, and this is the crucial part about them right here. It's a bit of a testing ground, which is great. However, you don't want to slack here. You don't want to go into Ascension. You don't want to go into Challengers with this defeat in your record, because at the end of the day, it still has an impact on your team. And you know, when we talk about this team playing against Team Liquid, we already had this previously, right? It was not too long ago that Enterprise Esports and Team Liquid faced each other. It was a 2-0 in not the most convincing fashion. And most interestingly, Alex in the interview after this 2-0 victory said, we never thought it would get that close. We would never think that this is actually going to be such a tough series, though they anteed a lot according to him, and that Team Liquid had the worst veto against them as well. It still got tight. This game right here, though, I'll be honest with you, was not 100% convincing me of the full capability of Enterprise Esports, and I think there's a lot more possible with this team.
Yeah, no, and again, this is something that they have noted themselves earlier on in the season. I can't remember exactly which game it was. It may have been Pixel Lumina or something like that, where they did lose a map, and I think it was Lotus specifically where they lost the map. I talked to, I think, Zeke after the game, and he was just like, yeah, if we got put into Challengers EMEA right now, we would get grouped. And, like, that's the kind of thing, they're self-aware enough to be like, yeah, okay, we've got a lot of improvement to do over the course of the season. I don't think we have seen the Enterprise Esports of Stage 2 just yet. They've had moments where they've shone, but that does not mean that we have seen a team that could beat BBL Pacific once again in this stage. And sometimes it just takes warming up to the new map pool. Sometimes it just takes, you know, just getting those reps in Northeast to be able to do this. And I don't think there's really a better opponent that they could have had in the grand finals to get those reps in. Team Liquid Academy, while, yeah, as we mentioned, you know, they made a bit of a meal out of every game that they've had so far in the playoffs, I think they are a formidable opponent in this kind of series, a best of 5 series, a series that goes on for a long time. This is the kind of team that you want to be getting practice against.
I mean, you need to see it like this. Alex, it's a perfect thing you touched on. Alex in the same interview said that recently, like many other teams that are really good in the tier 2 scene in EMEA, they're struggling in Prague so much. I mean, this was prior to stage 3. They're struggling a lot. They're unable to really find their groove. And this is an interesting part, because one thing you need to see, and this is going to be interesting in terms of preparation, when you are, so to say, the best, there's a lot to look at. There's a lot to copy from you. There's a lot to identify in terms of your patterns and behaviors. And from my experience particularly, I can tell you, the more you get to see, the more you get to understand. And this is such a pivotal, great thing. However, the fact right now and the situation they're in, they're still capable of reinventing a few things with the safety and with the security of already being secured for Ascension. I think this is the great upside for them right here, that they're still having this kind of comfort, and this brings them in a bit of a different situation. However, of course, as a competitor, there's no space to lose. There's not one time where this is even an option, and they're showing today could be really determining how good some of those adjustments, for example, on the calling and decision-making side, have been throughout the previous practice sessions they had.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not just the calling and the decision-making that is going to be the big playmaker in this server. Obviously, their stats as players over the course of the season have been absolutely brilliant. Like, look, they've had many, many rounds to play these. As we've said, they've kind of made, you know, a lot of these games close, but that has given them the opportunity to shine as individual players as well over the course of the season. Yes, with 257 average ACS is pretty ridiculous.
Twiggy, listen, there's so many head-to-heads that we could pull through this pre-show. Jazz obviously against GSR is gonna be a ridiculously fun fight to watch, but there's gonna be much more we're gonna untangle here. Overall, the interesting part is just by the numbers, as we're gonna take a look at a head-to-head between Team Liquid Academy and Enterprise Esports from a just numbers perspective, right? Hypothetically, and this looks odd for some reason, Enterprise is worse in the ACS department. How is that possible? But you know, when we talk about win conditions, and this is interesting for the viewers, just pay attention to some of those numbers as I'm guiding you through it. Team Liquid Academy is super defender-sided. They love that, because if you look a bit down, they're so retake heavy. 46% win rate on retake scenarios. It's ridiculous. This is a number you hardly see in professional play. On the other side, when we talk about win conditions for Enterprise, they are much more on the side of getting those operator kills, especially the attacker operator online. 6% of the total kills made by operator might not sound like a lot to you, but comparing it to the general average of how teams perform with an operator, this is a ridiculously high number, a linchpin, a key for the side of Enterprise to succeed. And this is where Team Liquid, again, and this is why I think those teams are so different, orchestrating things. Major advantage on the Team Liquid side. This is why their pistol win rate is also so much better in comparison, because you can script it a bit more. Same with retakes. And this is where I'm really curious to see what kind of adaptations we get from Enterprise, because if they give the freedom to Team Liquid Academy to let their protocols, to let their systems work exactly as they want, then they'll have a really hard time. But this is a condition here. You need to see how much can they actually be in their standard scenario, so to say. And if they're not so much in their standard scenarios, your retake isn't working because Enterprise is pushing a bit forward, the pistol is a bit more weird than usual, then they might crumble faster than you expect.
Well, we'll see. I mean, look, if we're talking about strengths, playing to your strengths, Team Liquid Academy, their strength has always been off the server a lot of the time, coming up with deep strat, because these guys have played every single map. They've looked good on every single map. They have practiced everything to a ridiculous degree. I mean, I'm sure these fresh-faced players must be absolutely tired after every single VOD review session, because it seems like they go through absolutely every scenario that they can, and it shows in the server a lot of the time that their ability to reset after tough rounds, their ability to play to their strengths strategically has been absolutely brilliant over the course of this season. And I mean, look, this is such a interesting roster as well, and I think as an academy team you have that freedom to be able to pick players that, you know, people wouldn't really expect to be on a team like this. Look, Cooper and Bacon have made some incredible decisions when it comes to the players that they want playing for Team Liquid Academy, and a lot of people at the start of the year were like, why are we picking these players? But they have shown over the course of the year why they are here and why they are able to just do the work that they do, right? 3 younger players that are just so talented in the server.
No, absolutely. I mean, those guys have showed what they're capable of. I mean, the kind of identity that Bacon also found with this team in terms of from a compositional perspective, something we talked about a lot yesterday in terms of how much they're playing double duelist, how much they're so focused on that, is really fascinating to me. It is one of those teams where at the beginning of the year, as you said, it's an unknown. Is this an absolute disaster in the making? Is this potentially one of the best teams? And I think they've really shown that the selection they've made has been been great. Even though when some games get tied, it might look like, there's a bit more fine-tuning to make over the years, but they're on the right track. That's more than certain.
Yeah, well, let's look at how Team Liquid Academy got here through yesterday's game, because as we mentioned, it was a tough affair, and it went on for a long time. Those first 3 maps were ridiculous, right? We started off on Haven. Detty, at least, their veto was a little confusing to us, so maybe surprising is maybe the word that we would use, right? They really played into Team Liquid Academy's hands. They went, okay, we're going to join you on your favorite maps instead of kind of shying away from Corrode and all of these other ones, right? We start on Haven, a map that Team Liquid Academy also like, and they managed to take it away. It was so close, and that could have gone either way. We go to Corrode, and again, it could have gone either way. We get to Lotus, it could have gone either way. Every time it was flip-flopping between these two. On Lotus, in fact, Team Liquid Academy started with 4 rounds, and yet Detty at least managed to take it away 13-10. But then, after our extended break, after we play 3 maps, we generally go for about a quarter of an hour, so these players can get some food, just discuss things a little bit, cool down. That's when they came alive, when they were able to discuss what happened. We went on to 2 maps that are kind of more unknowns for them. Sunset, their only other time out. Metasport, they lost, and now 13-5 against Detty Elise. Absolutely ridiculous difference from them, so they've clearly been doing their homework.
Yeah, you have to do your homework when you're going to challengers. You cannot leave that many maps hovering, and it was a great test for them. However, though, I think that Ulysse just really absolutely ran out of fuel there towards the end. But still, it was a remarkable result. And as you saw on the graphic, it could have been a 3-0. It literally could have been a 3-0 for Detty Ulysse. This thing over before, I don't know, the sun goes down, basically. And it really left me thinking, okay, is it just the matter of fact that they are really good with keeping their endurance up, which is one option? Secondly, is the thing of just getting warm, because again, like GSR said in the interview yesterday, it took them a while to get into the game. They were literally looking nervous on that Haven. They were literally looking like this has been their first official for so while, which it factually was. So I have to say, I think today could even be great for them that they have this best of 5 already in their pocket. From a preparation perspective, this is the most interesting part to me on how much we're going to see a different Team Liquid in their playstyle compared to what we saw yesterday or all the best of 3s before, because you don't have too much time to adapt. Even preparation wise, you don't want to overload your players, which is so key. You don't want to overload them with so much preparation, so much anti this there. You want to play your own game to a certain extent with some adaptations here and there. So this is very interesting to see how it is after already playing full 5 maps yesterday.
Well, let's take a look at some more player stats before we jump into our first map. GSR will start us off, obviously a star player that we have seen. This is, really the only contender. It's so poetic that we are here with these 2 teams in the best of 5. It is really the only kind of main contender that we've seen to Yash over the course of this stage so far in terms of just being a standout duelist. And GSR wasn't even playing duelist last time we saw him out. Was put onto this role because evidently behind the scenes Bacon and Cupid had realized that double duelist is working for the team. It's an adaptation that they made after a failure of stage 2, and it's worked so well for them because GSR is just so talented.
First of all, undoubtedly, it felt like a waste to put this guy on Breach on Fate, to be very honest. With this individual skill, it is absolutely right that he is in that position. From a playstyle perspective, it also just fits the team much better. And therefore, I very much believe that this is right here, right now, one of the greatest decisions they have made. This is one of the reasons they got this far. This is the reason why they're in this success. And it is a player I would have my eyes on. Hazza and Cairo yesterday said it rightfully. You gotta really make sure once this guy turns eligible for VCT that you get him. And right now he is putting up 1 promotion tour. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams are going to have their eyes on him. Obviously, Team Liquid have the pick of the litter, as he is on their academy team. But still, look, let's take a look at some other players, right? Because we've mentioned a couple of times Cupid, right? Obviously, used to be an analyst, now playing as a player on Team Liquid Academy, kind of being that in-round IGL, kind of mid-rounding stuff here, up against Starkey in terms of that kind of controller. Well, Enterprise Esports switch over roles quite a lot, but still, their lion's share on that controller role. And yeah, I mean, you're seeing similar stuff here.
You do see similar stuff. However, I would say there's a big and vast difference in those teams. I mean, I remember Cooper particularly last year when we were playing CGN against him when he was on SK. And gameplay-wise, playstyle-wise, I think nothing much changed in how the way he wants to call. The rounds are, especially on the attacker side, fairly well thought through in the beginning, 30-40 seconds. The later the round gets, the more uncomfortable I am with Team Liquid Academy, to be very honest. I think their mid-rounding is not that strong yet. They're in a position where often it feels like they're a bit too slow, a bit off guard. But I have to be honest, the big difference here is Starkey has not IGL'd before. In the teams he has played before, for example, a Mouse, CGN, he wasn't in that role. He listened, he did his job, that's it. So he had to do a major step up in this role this year in Enterprise. I still think a lot of their decisions, especially on attack, are too slow. They're waiting too much on this one mistake the enemy makes. However, I think, for me personally, Starkey's in a great position to become a good IGL with especially the coach he has in terms of LXR, someone who played professionally himself in CS as well as Valorant. And I think this is just the better baseline to be in for him. But there's still a few mistakes, and those mistakes can end up quite badly if the momentum is switching over to Team Liquid. Suddenly they have their ults online, now they're stringing rounds together. It can get really uncomfortable against TLA.
Yeah, especially if Cupid gets a classic in his hands. I'm sad that we don't have any Cupid classic stats because my lord, that man is. Why would you ever buy a sheriff if you can just one tap everybody with a classic somehow? Anyway, look, let's take a look at map pool because that is the only other kind of thing that we haven't mentioned yet so far. Team Liquid Academy obviously having a very deep map pool. It doesn't seem to matter what you pick against them. They're going to put up a solid performance. But here is Enterprise's map pool, and they really have tried to kind of stick to certain maps here. Their win rates on most maps really, really good, but they are very much, erring on the side of caution. When you get into a best of 5, obviously this is where things start to get a little worrisome if you have kind of really headed towards mainstay maps.
Yeah, and the thing is here, the reason if you're confused, why we're showing the Enterprise veto, well, they have double ban advantage in this best of 5, which means they basically get to decide the entire pool for today. And here's the thing that I've been asking myself the entire time. When I saw the Daddy Elise veto they banned, instead of Icebox, which is their permaban, they rather banned Sunset. And I was thinking the entire time, okay, this was intentional. So what kind of intentional smart veto do we get this time around is the question. I think Icebox is out no matter what. I don't think this is a risk you need to take. However, the second map to be banned is quite interesting because I see Sunset being in there. A consistent second ban from Enterprise. Yesterday looked really hard, really hard from Team Liquid. Like they were pulling off things that I didn't see coming at all, considering the kind of showing they had so far against Metasport. I think Icebox and Sunset could be out of this. Maybe Ascent, potentially, because Team Liquid Academy is also pretty good on that. Yeah. But let's see. It's one of those things where it doesn't matter too much. I say Icebox and Sunset out.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually. I think before yesterday, definitely Sunset would have still been in the running to be like 5th map, something like that, 4th, 5th map. I mean, both kind of the same. It just depends who picks it first. But look, Enterprise Esports know that if they're really gonna have the best chance of winning this, they need to win it in 3. So they need to really, get this going with map veto because look, here's the thing. I don't want to talk about fate or anything like that. It is about how the players play in the server. But Team Liquid Academy, they get better as a series goes on compared to other teams at the very least. They seem to take a while to warm up, but when they do warm up and when they are able to get to the 4th, the 5th map, suddenly you're in a bit of danger. So I would be scared for Enterprise, or not scared, but I would just be wise as Enterprise Esports. Make sure you're picking the right maps. Lotus is first ban for them. That is interesting.
It very much is. It's not a very common thing to do from the side of Enterprise, but I see where they're coming from in terms of how they're own focused. It's just not looking too good. Sunset is out, so this. Okay, Alex cooked. He did. He very much did because he cooked because he will leave Icebox. I can only imagine it's 4th or 5th. He doesn't want to go there. Team Liquid Academy is also not comfortable in Icebox, and he was rather having those out, considering that Enterprise most recently. Yeah, I mean, you know, the Lotus against Steady Elise was not looking too good. The one against Pix Lumina was also close. No big surprise. And Ascent coming first. And so I was horribly wrong. The Sunset out. I'm glad about this, but yep, they take the
horribly
gamble.
Wrong. Sorry. Okay, so Ascent and Corrode to start with, which I think here's the thing, right? Again, this is what Team Liquid Academy want. They have, you know, really a quite good map pool versus a team like Enterprise Esports, where they are going to, no matter what, be playing maps that they want to play or they like playing. So for them, it really is just about, can we take as many maps as we can in the first 3 and then, you know, ride it out from there. They need to claw their way into this series.
This is good. It worked. It worked. It worked. It worked. They did not want to play Icebox as much as possible. They rather wanted the Lotus out with the discomfort, and they left Icebox in. And this is great. That 4th map is hypothetically still a good map for Enterprise Esports. And I think Corrode is one important thing, because it also was a map they played in the previous best of 3. And here's the thing. Enterprise gets to decide defense or attack start. And they wanted this also in the previous best of 3 against Team Liquid Academy. Now they have it again. I think this is, especially considering that the first 2 maps are the same as in the first time they met, this is looking good for Enterprise Esports in my eyes. I think the veto again worked in their favor. And again, they kind of gambled in a direction of how they wanted to pivot, and it worked out in their favor. But that doesn't decide anything about the result.
Yeah, for sure. It's still going to be, you're against a formidable opponent no matter what.
Absolutely.
You have to just focus on your own gameplay. And that is what we hear from the players when we interview them. Obviously, they've all been media trained, so none of them are going to do a bunch of, you know, trash talk against the other teams anymore. Unfortunately for us, makes things a lot more interesting. But yeah, when we hear things from these players, it is usually, look, if I ask, you know, you're coming up against Enterprise Esports, they are the challengers EMEA champions. They're a formidable team. They're scary. What are your thoughts going into that? It's generally just, you know, it doesn't matter who we're against. We're just going to focus on our own gameplay.
Of course.
We're going to play our game. And you look, that's the mindset you need to have, especially in a series like this, where it's going to go on for a while, and you're going to be playing on most of the maps in the map pool. So you just need to put your head down and get to work. And I think for Team Liquid Academy, that is the name of the game, is just get to work, see how many rounds you can get. And if you can take one of the first 2 maps, you're in with a chance, and then you need to keep going.
Yeah, that Ascent is for me the more deciding factor, because I think they can catch them kind of off guard. I mean, they know each other, right? They know each other, and also particularly interesting in the previous time they met, 13-10 victory for the guys of Enterprise. I think Enterprise have learned very fast on what kind of playstyle Team Liquid Academy is really aiming for. So therefore, I very much believe that it could go really in their favor. But here's the thing, Team Liquid Academy is really good with creating new strats, new set pieces, new little ideas that are really confusing for their opponents. And I can very much believe that if they have something new up their sleeve, Enterprise Esports will have a bit of a problem, because the thing is, they are mostly good at those set rounds, but those set rounds set a momentum for the upcoming ones, where your advantage is good enough to get a few more. And this is where I see always Team Liquid Academy having a really good chance. It's one of their big strengths.
All right, I want to get a prediction from you before we get going, as we wait for the players to get into the server. Look, is it fair to ask for a full... No, you know what? I'm not going to ask for map scoreline. I'm going to ask, what do you think the series is going to end? Right off the bat, what is your prediction? Enterprise Esports versus Team Liquid Academy. What's the scoreline?
3-1 Enterprise Esports is my call right now, and I say they're losing Corrode or Haven. I'm not sure yet.
Sure. All right. Okay. I like the sound of that. I do think, yeah. My thing is, it really is just Haven. Whether or not Team. Okay. Haven. Cool. Good.
Haven, yeah.
Good. Okay. Oh, it's gonna be a tough. Okay. Give them the chance of the reverse sweep. This is that's how they won the grand finals last time.
True.
But yeah, no. This time they're not going to be able to play Lotus, which is kind of the map that they have had as a linchpin a lot of the time, Team Liquid Academy, it was the stage that they won the grand finals on in stage 1. This time around it's banned out, but then again, yesterday it wasn't a standout map for them, so I'm not sure they're unhappy about that being banned. As we just wait for the agent select to come through, I think...
Yeah? What is it?
I think it is going to be a 3-1 or a 3-0 to Enterprise Esports, simply because if they do let it get to a 2-2, I think Team Liquid Academy win the final map. It's just my gut feeling about this.
I mean, look, if Team Liquid Academy is looking great now and is going to win, we're both looking equally stupid, which is great. Nobody's going to be the smart one here. Quickly about the agent pool, one fascinating factor to highlight here as well. The big difference again between those two teams is that Enterprise Esports is a much more, let's say, conservative team in considering compositions where they play a lot of the classic stuff. Whilst Team Liquid Academy, as we see here, already mentioned, they really focused on that double duelist and not even the traditional double duelist, so to say. They really spice it up. They really change things around. They love the Vice in that as well. And this makes it very interesting in terms of the clash, because yesterday, that Ulis, they also enjoyed the double duelist on a lot of maps, whilst Enterprise is just really keeping it, let's say, more general, more broad, more traditional, which is great on the one hand, but also can become a bigger flaw. But I still think Enterprise Esports is benefiting from the standard comms, so to say, because they're more general, they're more about playing the game all round long in comparison to Team Liquid.
Sure, I think that's a fair assessment to make. We're almost ready to take a look at the agent select here. Obviously, I think getting into the look. Hey, I would be scared if I were either team going into this game. So maybe you just got to take a time to settle your nerves. But yeah, no, this is going to be a really good series. I think the general sentiment here is that Enterprise Esports are very much the favorites, but Team Liquid Academy a considerable underdog opponent here. So no surprises in terms of the agent select.
Zero surprises. I mean, if we're taking a look right now, it's going to be very interesting to see on that defense side and how much the guys from Team Liquid Academy are playing those forward positions with the agent they have. The Euro as well as the Whaley are a big invitation to take a bit more risk towards line, to take a bit more risk towards B main. It's a lot of options where you are able to say, I have a second life. I think the way they play is basically two players always have a second life. They're always playing with a +1. And I think this is something they could really abuse against Enterprise, of course, if the players are in shape, because this, in comparison to yesterday, is really an even fight when it comes to the firepower. Those teams are both on somewhat the same level when it comes to the shooting capabilities in comparison to yesterday. So that's going to make a big difference too on how fast those players are on the server.
Yeah, I mean, both of these teams love Ascent. You can see the win rate on there. You can see the amount of times they picked it on there. So this is really the best litmus test we're going to get in terms of a best of 5, how the rest of this series is going to go. I'm interested to see how it will turn out. And look, we didn't just have 2 wonderful casters for you this weekend. Let's ramp it up to 4, because we've got Summer and Pavlos to take this one away from you. Go ahead, guys.
Thanks, guys. It's going to be a treat of a game, that is for sure. Both teams have a title apiece, but only one can end up with a second, and only one can be undisputably the best team coming out of Northeast in 2025.
And honestly, just to echo what has been said on the desk, this is probably the best map to look at for both of these teams with Sunset being taken out. This is the best map for both of them. This is the best test to start off this best of 5. Normally you see it like towards the last map or even in best of 3s. It's the decider that you get the closest map. No, we're going it right off the bat into Ascent, and I'm so ready to get started into this grand finals so we can really see who is the best this year in Northeast.
Individuals will be tested, scrapbooks will be exhausted, but may the Samsung Odyssey Challengers Northeast Split 3 finals begin.
And talking about the comps as well for Enterprise, they were talking about it being more of the default, the bread and butter, not straying too far away. And especially on the attack, it's starting off with a pistol, a little bit of a poke and prod over in towards Tree, and it's that's just sending it all the way down, but there's no support. Look where the spike is. But that's not necessarily going to pull anyone from Team Liquid Academy over. And with Yas falling, that's just a spearhead taken off.
Ninja already getting one pick, doubles it up by taking Doma down as well. Suddenly Team Liquid Academy look a lot more stronger, while Enterprise's pieces in the flanks already eliminated. What do you do now with 3 players remaining?
Yeah, I mean, they had 2 sort of opportunities on those extremities or far away from the spike to try and make something happen. You can see the idea, yes, full sending into towards tree and towards short. If he got that kill, we would have seen a completely different round. But then the next step was, what's the failsafe? That's plan A, doesn't necessarily work. Plan B, Doma, but immediately shut down by Ninja. And then that's the shutout. They can't go out onto speed because of the wall. And now they're stuck in a 3v5 position. It's Killers' turn now.
Team Liquid Academy have already exhausted that B-side extremity. 4 players have peeked through Garage and know that they need to focus towards the other side of the map. They know exactly what's going on, and Killers cannot create another lurk. Team Liquid Academy should be able to take this one down easily, unless Starkey can bring something out of magic, but that will not be the case. As a clean start as it comes here for the youngsters of Team Liquid Academy. Round number 1 goes in their bag.
We were discussing this earlier about both of these teams not always having the best start in towards series, especially when we're looking at possibly Team Liquid Academy ramping up and getting more confident in the plays, and especially in the set plays that they have for the retakes and for the side hits and along those lines. And for Enterprise just really relaxing into the game to be able to play the way that they want to play. The fact that they come into the first round, it is Enterprise's pick. Again, it is more of a middle ground, I want to say, for this one on Ascent in particular. And nothing worked. Not even one kill goes their way. It's a complete shutout. And yeah, it's just a pistol. Like, eventually we'll get onto the rifles. We might see us have an absolute whale of a time when he goes for another similar play over towards tree on this attacking side, because that's something that we've come to know and love for the side of Enterprise. Yeah. Liquid Academy definitely happy with the way things are starting.
And with Donatello lined up in the right position to receive what's about to come. We'll throw down his attempt to take the Enterprise approaching players. Just a couple taken down by GSR. Donatello can't really hold on to his life too much, but we do know Enterprise are very difficult to deal with, especially on the pistols. For some reason, they come alive and always need to be respected. Hold the door. This could go wrong from round number 2. Enterprise got the numbers and a site control.
And they've got a couple of weapons. It is Killers with the most HP, who's the least armed.
Thing is, Team Liquid Academy haven't lost any of their health on the remaining 2 players. Tripwire spotted. Cam enabled. Paranoia is so damn crucial. Not only do you delay them from crossing in, Killer's able to shut down Ninja on his hop, skip, jump attempt to get away from dodge. But it's just Wreck Zone remaining, and with a fully telegraphed position, it's hard to imagine something can be achieved out of this one. And even though we did say some of that, these 2 teams can come off with a rough start, right? Slow to get the ball rolling. Definitely not the case. Definitely not the case.
Maybe it was just the pistol round. That was the slow roll that we saw from Enterprise. A lot of space given to them, especially over towards mids, and being able to isolate 3 or even 4 individual 1v1s throughout that entire round when they had the main pack of players. You see in the first one here, sure, you have GSR that comes in for the trades, but off the back of that, yeah, definitely not going to be a happy reaction.
Oh man, I was looking forward to this matchup because of these bacon reactions. I feel like we're going to get quite a few of those today.
But the thing is, with Enterprises, they barely ever invest into these second round buys. I think the most you had was a Ghost, and you had multiple kills coming in through with the Classic. You're never going to be happy with that. And now we've got the rifles out. It's Cupid that's going to be the one not so necessarily endowed with weaponry. Goes down early.
Sure. Enterprise, on the other hand, get their pick and now look to traverse to the other side of the map.
Yeah, and it's a little bit more of a reset round for Liquid Academy, right? Obviously, you want to win it if you can, but maybe with the weapons, you just want to do as much damage as possible. It's Ghost v Ghost.
Take flight.
Yeah, it's funny that Zeke, even though with the Ghost, is still able to get something done against the 1v3. But Ninja's the next one to be tested, and the likelihood of him getting something significant done here is at a bare minimum. Finds a dink, though Killers has got the better weapon, and therefore the trade goes his way. Spike to go down, And the remaining 2 Team Liquid Academy players bunched up together, holding hands essentially.
Just hanging
And
out.
that camera is not going to make it easy for them to cross either.
I think it's very telegraphed where the positions of these 2 remaining Team Liquid Academy players are. Cycling of smoke, cycling of utility, send a couple of shot darts. There should not be any way that the round is going to go in their favor, but it's more about how much damage they can do on the way out.
And cycling of shooting as well. There's one player entering their barrel, then it's the next one. But talk about damage, it is killers to go down. So does Yas in the process. So finding 3 casualties there. Not too bad of an ordeal for Team Liquid Academy if you look at this round in isolation, but it's a round collected by Enterprise nevertheless.
Yeah, and especially with it being realistically a 4v2 towards the end on the exit, getting 2 on your way out in this sort of reset round, you only had 1 Bulldog really to work with. Rest was on Classics or even a Ghost maybe. It's like the most investment coming through. That is perfectly fine. It's the reset round. Just pretend that you lost the pistol and then you won the bonus, because we're in the similar sort of scoreline. It's the 2-1. Everybody's got rifles back out, but Yas has an operator, which can get scary.
And that's the thing that was mentioned in the analyst desk as well. The fact that Yas and Enterprise, in contrast to how Team Liquid Academy behave, they rely on these openers from that operator.
Or even just aggressive pushes and pulls, right? They not always the ones that want to make the initial play. Zest said it on the desk of wanting to punish mistakes of the opposition, and this might be an opportunity for Zeke to do so, but straight into the one-way.
That is a bold move to make. Killer's wanting to re-swing it, but then again, you've got to be wary about how far forward the Team Liquid Academy players are. They have fallen back to the safety of this A site as Enterprise start to close up the distance from multiple directions. Cooper's got himself a beauty of an angle. Door dropped, and Enterprise falling behind more and more as the seconds go by. 40 seconds left.
And look at Yas in this position, isolated with the operator.
He needs this.
It's so difficult.
He's got to find something. Enterprise need a pick to get something going. Switching rifles, definitely audible for GSR, so the swing could go his way. Kalbus concealing him. There's an entry, but it's still not without the answer. Donatello without a reply. Suddenly Enterprise may have a way in. Though GSR considering wanting to push past the cage, 13 seconds, Yasis pushes by. Killers knows he's in dire straits here. Needs a miracle to get out of this one, but GSR won't let it happen. Top on the leaderboard in the previous lower bracket finals, and he looks to do that again today.
I think they spotted out the operator as well over towards short, decided not to pick that up, so let's just see what Team Liquid Academy want to sort of play around with the rifles a little bit more, at least at the beginning of this half. And that's an investment Yas is unable to remake, and instead drops a weapon over to a friend. Blade Storm is going to be the crucial point of utility for him in regards to weaponry, in regards to openings. And again, focus over towards mid.
Yeah, GSR will think a second time before pushing as he gets tagged. Yeah, look at this. So damn close. He's got assistance, but of course the TP will allow GSR to get out of harm's way.
Look at this wall over towards B, though. It's a market wall from Rexhoned. This could isolate Yas so well.
This is going to be interesting. Yas creating some space with their own little cloudburst, baiting out some of these shots, and indeed the wall is used. So the isolation of the duelist of Enterprise not going to happen this time around. Team Liquid Academy, on the other hand, a lot of information on that right-hand side.
And that's the benefit as well of being able to get so much space so early on for free, is you can take time to notice if there's a new setup of a wall over towards market, that you can bait it out. You have the time. You're not forced into a situation where you have to send Yas in. Like, okay, quick, we only have 20 seconds left on the clock. There's a wall you need to go and make these hero plays. It will end up in a B split.
Enterprise, like normal, like we've become accustomed to, go to the 30-second mark to make their push. Yas looking for the first shots, and having the upper angle there makes it easier for him to get the collection. Still, does go down with the ship. And as the rest of the Enterprise players try to close onto Ninja's position, they aren't that clean with it. Here comes the rest of the squad though from Team Liquid Academy. Killer's left behind to try and deal with the rotates, and his position is left unchecked. Able to get one. How many more can he get? The answer is 2. All of a sudden, it's down to Cupid, the captain. That makes it doable. A one-on-one. And Zeke falls right in front of his crosshair. Boy, do the stars align. A triple for Cooper, the clutch, and Team Liquid Academy right back on top.
Look at his reaction in the camera as well, because what in the tarnation was that? Like you said, coming from the captain, the one that has the experience that's supposed to be building up these players to be the stars, and instead he's just decided to take the mantle himself.
I mean, look, Cooper has had the highest clutch rate on the server historically, right? Gets a 1 in 4 when it comes to his clutch potential, right? He wins 1 in 4. That is insane.
So what the play is be a super experienced guy on your team, send all the youngsters in to get the initial first bloods and kills, just so you can have your hero moment in the clutch, right? To get the 1v3s,
Sure, yeah.
the 1v4s.
I swear, the little kids are rubbing up. Never mind. No. Anyway, they have influence. That's what I meant to say. Either way, Enterprise under a bit of trouble, really, now with the rifles being forced out. They don't really have much spare cash left. This is a very necessary round for them to collect. Otherwise, they could be in trouble already on the attack.
I mean, it's something similar for Team Liquid Academy as well. There's a lot of players that are low on money, and with the loss bonuses starting to be more in favor of Enterprise, they need to start making these rounds a little bit cleaner. Because, of course, clutches are fun. 1v3s are flashy, but it's not great for the economy overall. Again, a lot of space, just over towards mid. For free for Enterprise, that they've got plays in market, over towards Tree as well. And that's the initial kill that's going to be set in play. Enterprise is fake, possibly over towards B.
Oh, look at Doma going! And Ninja is so caught off guard by that. Suddenly there's a Sova, a mirror in front of him, and is so damn surprised. Now, it's only GSR left to this B-side defense, and he is being circled around, multiple positions taken up by the Enterprise players, one round after the other. It feels like it's a topsy-turvy to determine which team will be control, and it's this time Enterprise, the one to show complete and utter dominance.
Equalization at least, but this is what I'm talking about in regards to money. Looking what that's done towards the defender sides. Sheriffs are going to have to be brought out, and I will say it is Sheriffs, but we saw what happened in round 2 with Classics against Bulldogs. Sheriffs against Vandals might be the play, and especially taking a timeout now from the side of Team Liquid once they get all their ducks in a row, whether that's going to be a play coming into this one or anything that Bacon might have noticed that on the rifle rounds that they want to change, possibly the pressure and presence over towards mid. They can do a fast play because you have the Waylay, you have GSR as well on towards this Yoru. Get sort of a flash pop, dash down mid, or even down one of the mains, be a little bit more aggressive with it. We've seen them do it in a couple of rounds, right, with Cupid's Paranoia over towards A main, but there's not many people home from the side of Enterprise at this beginning of the rounds. They love their mid pressure, and it's not really pressure because Team Liquid Academy aren't there to receive anything.
Indeed. And then again, you've got to consider the different play style both of these teams will have, right? The agent compositions, the fact that Team Liquid Academy often go for those double duelist setups. And again, we see the exact same thing. And I feel like Ascent is the perfect map to see that contrast difference, especially now seeing Enterprise and their style in the attack. Switch sides, and it'll be night and day.
Be right back.
There it is. There's a flash and a dash.
And a trap. So, no more forwards movement here for the defenders of Team Liquid Academy. Back to safety. Well, I did say no more forward movement for the defenders, but Ninja wanted to stay true to his name, and yeah, didn't quite work out.
Well, ninjas are supposed to be stealthy. I don't think there's anything stealthy about that one. But
no.
Is Nico. We'll give him the little bit of an exploration, but from the side of Enterprise, you have to be looking at that like well played. right? They read into the aggression that was going to be done over towards mid because it's something that they've been taken advantage of, realistically, when it comes to these rifle rounds. Even on the pistols, they were able to get a lot of space for free, even though it didn't necessarily go their way in regards to the gunfights. It's still real estate that they're just collecting, and there's no pushback from Team Liquid Academy. So sure, even in more of a lower buy round, they want to go for something aggressive, out of pocket, especially off the back of the timeout. Respect being given from the side of Enterprise, but now coming into the rifles, now we have the operator out. So this was a decision. They didn't decide to pick up the one the Yas invested around round 4, but now they're the ones making the investment. So have a look at where GSR is going to be playing, and it looks like he's wanting to peek over towards shore.
Change of approach for sure. Let's see if it works out. Enterprise giving themselves the lead after the anti-eco, but there is a rapid approach coming in from the Enterprise players, and GSR, he's equipped for it and is on time to pick up Yas's head. Now, all of a sudden, you've got Enterprise trying to pick up the pieces, trying to adjust, but Team Liquid Academy aren't letting that happen. A collapse through mid, backed it up with a Hunter's Fury, Killer's spotted as well, due to that third tag, Ninja on the chase, and that is as clean as it comes.
And what changed, Pavlos, may I dare ask? What changed in the
operator?
And presence in mid, because sure, the operator helps, right? Because that was a very nice shot. We'll give it to GSR, right? But it's the fact that they have that presence over towards mid. They're not even fighting super deep initially in regards to taking aggressive peeks down over towards Link or towards top mid, but it's having the key pieces there that when they do want to make the aggression, that is the main focus of Team Liquid Academy in that round. And it works.
Early. Yeah. This time, though, no early peeking of GSR's position. Yas brings out a big green of his own. That's unable to make work of it in the first shot. It's just stating their dominance, Enterprise, saying, we deserve this mid, do not cross our paths.
But it has meant that they've started to invest a little bit more utility from the side of Enterprise to clear out the positions. Sure, they've managed to get Donatello out from Pizza, make him reposition, but there's still that presence and threat that they know no one has crossed, especially with this angle that GSR is holding. And there's not really any pressure anywhere else either on the map so far.
But now, Enterprise are starting to maneuver closer and closer to this B site. It's quite the setup for X-Stoned. And Ninja aligned with him on that high-low is going to be a damn difficult two-player hold to deal with. Dimensional Drift utilized. That's down in mid. And it's kind of spooked the Team Liquid Academy players to fall further backwards into the site. Yas, deep angle, unable to get pressured, unable to get traded, gets away with one and with his life. Team Liquid Academy cannot respond. The only thing that you could hope for is that Rexstone can get something done here, because there isn't much time remaining. You might as well try and interrupt this spike plant. In they go. Rexstone not yet spotted, but taken down instantly. Shorty shot for GSR is successful. Enterprise have got the time to get the spike in the ground, and Team Liquid Academy are lacking the players for this. Still, they don't look to slow down. They take a moment to figure out if they can get a pick or not, but without it, you can't help but feel they're gonna wave the white flag for this Donatello. That is nuts. As long as they're around, they can get something done. GSR lining shots across the wall. This is actually doable now. You've got the numbers advantage. Turns tabled. Doma on the bottom ledge. Killer's able to distract his opponents. Coop at the drop. It's so damn clean, and now you know where Killer's is. He's got to be clean. Headshot connects, but it's a phantom, so it's not going to be clean. But instead turns to the left-hand side. Triple kill for Killers, and Enterprise hold on.
From the far right all the way to the left of his screen, 10 HP to survive. And in the process of this retake, we praise Team Liquid Academy for the retakes, but looking at how well Killers has played over towards backside, just surviving.
Oh boy. Oh, it hurts. And look, Summer, this kind of goes back to what we knew about Team Liquid Academy's approach into a game on that defensive side, right? They love going for these retakes. They'll be happy to give up that numbers advantage because they're so damn good of recapturing these spike sites.
I mean, it's not even necessarily on the retake itself, right? It wasn't crazy set up for like, okay, we're gonna give them the site, nice, cool, calm, and collected. That was chaos, and that's why I completely understand the fact that we're getting a timeout from Enterprise. Sure, they won the round, but they should not have had to be in a position where Killers had to get a crazy 1v2 from backside, hitting a flick to the head of the final remaining player. And how messy it got towards that mid-round before the spike went down. They got players dying from wall bangs, from shorty peaks, and it's something that they definitely need to take a breath, clean that up when you're wanting to go forward, and extend the lead towards the end of this half on their attacking side. Because especially if they can get a good number of rounds here, Team Liquid Academy thrive on the defense, and if they're faltering now, we can see Enterprise lock their lead and possibly the first map as we switch sides.
Oh, I don't mind this from GSR.
Oh!
Starkey getting caught, but it's a big head-to-head here with Zeke catching his position, looking for that second one. Zeke deciding to take back-to-back individual fights, and he's won both of them. Cooper's looking to punish. But in the meantime,
cheeky.
Enterprise are closing up the distance, and Team Liquid Academy aren't really nearby to support. This should be clean from Enterprise, but Cooper escaping into Wine could net them a surprise shot.
There is a fragment. I do hope it gets used. Release a knife. So they are going to be noted in the position. Yeah, it does get a little bit more difficult, and especially with Yas being here.
He's just a backup, right? I mean, the rest of the team should have this under lock and key, but in case Yas is needed, could be around for that extra shot.
I don't think they go for it, money-wise.
You don't really want to go for it, exactly. Credit's low, you're half the amount of players available for Enterprise. So indeed, Enterprise, I feel this is the first time we're seeing a 2-round buffer in favor of Enterprise this game.
Yeah, and you don't even want to stick around to try and get a kill or two. Don't, because you're not really going to do anything substantial in regards to damage over towards the side of Enterprise. It'd be more of a adverse risk to be taking. GSR on 0 credits. You don't even have the benefit of an agent like the Jet that Yas is playing, that you can fall back and rely on the ultimate to be sort of a game changer, something you rely on ecos. And honestly, I think I've quite enjoyed seeing Chamber be used. I will say, Chamber coming back slightly into the meta, just for the versatility, not necessarily with the utility, the normal day-to-day utility, but the ultimate in itself. I do put that quite high in the sense of it's a tour de force, right? You can't really shake that one. But yeah, that's something that Team Liquid Academy do not have. They do have a couple of rifles that they're gonna buy up around those saved rifles with sheriffs. There's an opportunity maybe to use Rextone's ultimate, the Steel Garden, bring things down onto an even playing field with weaponry-wise. There's a stack up of 3 players over towards main. They want to lure someone in, catch them off guard with numbers.
They'll
Maybe
need some of that
exploring.
Enterprise eco spice. Killers could be on the receiving end of quite the collapse, but with the cam breaking straight away, he knows to be cautious. Recon trying to deter Killers' attention from that angle, but the fact that Zeke is also able to clean up his own fight does keep things nice for them. Yes, the slow peak will favor at that distance, especially with an operator. And little by little, Enterprise chipping away at the Team Liquid Academy economy.
And the numbers, because there's only 2 remaining and completely split apart. Keeper investing his eggs over towards B, which might be the right call with the number of Enterprise players sneaking up on him, but with the weaponry, it's not going to be ideal.
30 seconds left.
It's a 1v4 situation realistically. There's nothing Rextone can do to help, to assist. Just about how much damage can Cupid do towards backside?
Yeah, Cupid's been spotted, so no longer having the element of surprise. Yeah, no damage will be found. And it's hard to imagine that Vandal will not go to the next round, because you did invest into utility. So yeah, that will be saved. And that will net Enterprise's 7th round, meaning that there's only 1 round remaining, a potential 8th to be collected. This is a lot smoother. I feel like that's something we wanted to see from Enterprise as well from the season, right? There was a bit of a down streak in terms of their performance. They had a really strong roll over in Challengers, EMEA, won that tournament, to come back here as the reigning champs. And it was a bit of a slow time to get started. And in classic Enterprise fashion, slow to start their games, right? Start their maps. And there was a bit of fear that if they continue to do that at the high level, especially with an explosive team like Team Liquid Academy, they could be under a bit of trouble, but that's definitely not what we're seeing right now.
Last round before the switch.
My only concern, if Liquid Academy aren't able to connect this final round of the half with the new investments, again back into the rifles, Odin for Cupid, is this is their best side substantially, right, in regards to the defensive side versus attack. I think it's about 80, maybe like 78 or something, but it is high percentage win rate for defensive rounds. Sure, attacking rounds are up there as well, but this is definitely their favorite side. Enterprise are very equal across the board, so letting them get up onto 8, have the confidence going into the second half, might be a little bit of a dire strait and dire string of rounds. Enterprise will be able to connect.
And even though Team Liquid Academy this time around get a lot of information by the absence of Enterprise on that left-hand side of the map, Enterprise will be given free access, bait out the Vice utility. It's given time for the Academy players to reposition.
You have a lot of stuff to work for the retake.
Oh dear. GSI would escape the Hunter's Fury there, just dancing around it. And the final tag doesn't connect either. Enterprise on the 50-second mark, making a pivot decision. Over to this B side they go. Will Team Liquid Academy read this?
Starting to float a couple of players over, but still looking at the retakes for the side, retake utility for the side of Liquid Academy. Rexton's got the ultimate. Sure, Enterprise still have Zeeks.
Ninja can hear them. He knows, he's called the rest of the team over, and there's already 3 players available to this defense. Do you expect to check logs here?
He's so committed.
It's a hard position to cover,
Oh my God.
especially in a moment like this. Ninja gets away with 2, and again, Enterprise leave it to the final second. Team Liquid Academy jump the gun though, and suddenly Enterprise can line them up. It's like a shooting gallery. Enterprise though need to get the spike down, and they've got 10 seconds to do it, and with Team Liquid Academy so far back, that is not going to be stopped. Yas left behind. He's got the blades, but thankfully a Vandal on him to keep it going. Rextoned under so much stress here, surrounded by Enterprise players. It's going to be Enterprise to close out the half, 8-4. Damn spicy start to this grand final. Looking forward to see how this is going to end.
And
Terrific start for Enterprise to get things going on the right foot here in this grand final. Team Liquid Academy, a lot on their hands to do here, especially heading on this attacking side. Not going to be easy.
A pistol would definitely help close those round differential, at least make it a little bit more of a doable difference. But Enterprise, a pistol and a conversion could be them up onto double digits already, and that's not exactly what you want. And now switching on to the defensive, Team Liquid Academy might have an opportunity to dictate the pace a little bit more, because Enterprise were definitely leading the charge in regards to how well they were able to manipulate space over towards mid, but Team Liquid Academy want to turn of themselves over towards short.
Yeah, GSR trying to keep players busy. In the process, Doma realizes that the main fight is coming towards him. Killers lines up further back into the site, looking to hold hands with his teammate in their attempt to stop Team Liquid Academy taking all this site control. Donatello looking across in first, and he's got the rest of the troops around him and behind him. But here we go, GSR. A couple of chunks taken away from him. Team Liquid Academy have split their efforts in two, and it might cost them in the process.
Whoa.
Finally, Donatello and Ninja both win their fights, but it's still a close affair. As it's Donatello in that 1v2, Yas could be one bullet away from his demise, but Starkey there as backup is a daunting task to take care of.
30 seconds left.
Spike eventually to get planted. Donatello, instead of moving out of his angle, attempts to hold down the fort right here, right now, but Yas is able to connect his first shot, and therefore Enterprise gain the second pistol of the game.
I will say, in the last couple of rounds, not obviously we've just switched into the new half, but towards the end of the first as well, some of these kills, you blink and you miss like a triple kill. It is actually insane how quickly some of these kills are coming through. You see Donatello over towards backside, he gets a lineup of 2, which brings it not necessarily into a believable round for Team Liquid Academy, but it's something that Enterprise have to respect. You saw how passive they were playing over towards spawn in regards waiting until it's planted and then going together, making sure another double kill lineup is not going to go in favor of Donatello for another round.
Now this could be pacey though. Look at them go. Already entering the site. Of course it's Waylay, so could
He
get
is gone.
right back into safety. Yes. Inlox gets caught, and with Team Liquid Academy getting the first frag, you need to start to get cautious. These pistols could amount to quite a bit of damage, but they're still quite the hefty setup.
Where's
And
Keeper
that
going?
distance, Starkey is keeping them busy. Sure, Zeke is able to find 2, but Team Liquid Academy leaving the spike behind doesn't make their job easy.
I mean, they've taken space over towards spawn and even gotten a kill. But yeah,
they'd love to get a gun upgrade though.
and the spike. And I think the spike is more of a pressing matter, especially as a couple of players are dropping like flies. And sure, it is inevitable that Enterprise were able to convert that round, but it did get scary. It was sort of teetering on the edge, especially with the kill over towards DC from Cooper. That was an avenue opened up to rotate, but you can't rotate without the spike.
Yeah, and this makes this a little bit of an awkward one for Enterprise when it comes to the bonus, but when I do say awkward, I think we were just glimmers away of potentially seeing 5 rifles. And no, yes, we are in fact seeing 5 rifles, so a decent bonus at that.
This is a heavy investment from Enterprise.
Yep.
I mean, they have the rounds to play with it in the sense of like there's 6 differential. They have a couple of, not necessarily mistakes that they can make, but should a couple of rounds, especially rifle rounds, go in favor of Team Liquid, they have the time and the rounds to make it back up. I don't know if they're going to be ready for this though.
Yeah, he's teetering on the edge here. He spots the movement, so calls Starkey to be wary, especially from that main position. Could be a double crunch, and that's indeed what's happening. Cupid with a delayed response.
Ooh, dick though.
And that's some damage onto GSR, but with that, Team Liquid Academy adapt by moving into mid.
But again, it's both of these teams have gone for this. We don't want mid, you can have it. We're gonna hunker down onto these sites like turtles. And now coming in towards this beast, but you have the Cypher trip and even Doma in main to work with.
Enterprise have realized what is going on and they're trying to rotate as damn it's humanly possible. Killers getting one pick is super vital. Him being into that backside is a saving grace for Enterprise at this one. Otherwise, Team Liquid Academy could have walked in here for free. But now they're going to have to be a little bit extra careful. Rexone left behind, and he's found his pick. And with Killers going down eventually, it means that this round is basically over. For a second, it kept Enterprise potentially in the fight, but no longer the case.
Yeah, you want to believe in the conversation of Killers needs to get at least one over towards backside of if he gets one, maybe we can start to confuse them, being that push and pull of like the attention. Guys, go kill his backside, and then you sort of come in, like flood through CT and divide the attentions of the Liquid Academy players on site. But yeah, unfortunately, he's unable to get anything done in that backside position. A little bit too much pressure. He could not withstand. And saving grace, another round for Team Liquid Academy. They're going to save 4 rifles into this one.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're going to do. Going into the next one with just... no, there are some upgrades available to them. And seeing Killers getting some damage across, he's just only 2 orbs away from the neural theft. That could be good for a retake.
I'm just looking at the ultimates as well, right? When you're looking at the side of Enterprise, like you said, with Killers is almost online. Same goes for Zeke's. For those retakes or to stop those site pushes as they come through, or at least to neuter certain aspects of the attacking force, like the utility, force it to be gunfights only, which I will say, both of these teams, I've really enjoyed just watching them this season with how crisp they can be.
Oh yeah. Like, when they are feeling it, when they are playing their peak Valorant, these are some of the most entertaining teams to watch. Super cool to bear witness to. And this head-to-head, this matchup, very exciting. Big contrast. Champions of the past and potential champions of the future. And as well as their play styles, quite conflicting. Early pick going to Enterprise, and they are maneuvering into Yas's position. His crosshair, this could net him something. Realizes there's a bit too strong presence around. So Cloudburst used to avoid any further confrontation, but goes in for another bite. And he fancies more. Double kill. Get a triple Yas while you're at it. Damn! Getting away with pure murder.
The only way out was to fight because he'd been spotted in that bench position.
That's why he's the #1 rated player of the season.
He doesn't even need to till uses it to get out of the first position, gets stuck in pizza, decides, do you know what? I can't get out. Updraft's not going to do much help. You're just going to go. Sure, Ninja's going to be able to get a couple of kills, but the spike's already in mid.
He wants to go out with a bang.
I don't think he wants to go out anymore, especially with 9 HP.
Yeah, with Enterprise not having anyone to the A side, you don't really know how far Ninja has rotated. Hey, he gets another one. So triple kill for Ninja, keeping things a little bit closer, but with Enterprise winning that one, that's not what you really want for Team Liquid Academy. You already lost the pistol and the follow-up, the prerequisites of...
Oh, just watch this.
Still having a hand on this one. Yeah, it's disgusting, isn't it? Yeah, Bacon, he can't be mad here because what can you say? What can you do? That's just Yas popping heads.
Yeah, see Cupid's reaction of it just being, oh, he's there. Oh, wait, oh, everyone's dead.
They got
okay.
That's it.
They do have a couple of things that they can get online into this one, though, for Liquid Academy. You have Ninja's ultimate after those exit kills. You have Rexstone's close, Donatello's close. And even popping the ultimate Hunter through early on, trying to get a kill, but it's going to get nothing. Donatello has something.
And Starkey has the answer, though. Paranoia, but it's a little bit lopsided. It provides space. How does he still get away with that? The trades that are going on this round, and bonkers Toma sticking around and gets 2 with him. Oh my words, the individuals really popping off from Enterprise. You thought Team Liquid Academy were nuts, but I feel like they've met their maker.
I feel like we need just a mental pause for us on this side of things. I don't know how you guys are doing watching this, but it feels like the kills that we're seeing come through, like in that committed position that we had in the previous round over towards B, so you get 3 out of that position. You look over towards A, the trades, the crossfires, but still managing to just get 1 bullet out of the chamber, connect straight to the headshot, and at least you get yours in that round. But even more so, switch sides, and it seems like Team Liquid Academy have not been able to put a foot in any sort of right direction. Even the bonus was a relatively close one, and now Enterprise are sat up onto 12, and we were teeing this up to be the best place for both these teams to meet in regards to they both had similar win rates. The last time that they faced this match, it was something like a 13-10 victory for Enterprise, so it was relatively closely matched. And with Lotus being the best map for Team Liquid Academy being taken out, or at least their most played one, this was their second choice, and I thought it was brazen for Enterprise to pick this as the first map. But I have been answered in kind by Enterprise showing exactly why they picked this map, exactly why they have an 80% win rate on it, and hoping to increase that.
Pure shock and horror, that's what it is. Yeah, not the best start for this round either. You know what Team Liquid Academy were going for. They wanted to be a surprise there. Catch Yas on his frequent position.
At least that's an ultimate they don't have to work with. Doma popping his over towards mid, not going to get too much off the back of it, but they have so many others to work with. And
they're
they
coming
have
in
the
for
weapons.
more. Some of them pushing mid.
Yeah, and they're also pushing over towards Tree, but Zeke's watching. Rexton does have an answer though, and especially with Cupid now spotting a player over towards main, but it's fights across the other side of the map that might decide this. Ninja. Oh, he knows.
Really
he knows.
being a ninja. Oh, okay. We've got a round in our hands.
Look
or
at
do
where
we?
Yas is.
It's a flank on a flank. Flank squared.
No. Yas.
From the in spawn. At least that's information.
I thought Cupid was going to TP back B. Yas was going to sneak past Ninja. Okay, he eventually does get that kill.
But what do you do for Cupid, right? Because you had a site control early on. Look at the pings. They know exactly where he is.
It's just 1v3 take 2.
Oh boy, just Starkey toying with him as well. Paranoia connects. So that's going to be the easiest 1v1 of his life. 13-5 being the score. Enterprise starting off this grand final series with an absolute banger of an Ascent.
I think that was probably the most flat way this map could have ended, with how close some of these rounds had been. And we were like, oh my god, there's no way. We've just seen a triple kill from someone, and it, like in less than 0.5 a second there's been another triple kill, and now they're losing it. It was very confusing, because honestly the way that it ended, it just seemed something switched on in the minds of Enterprise as they switched over into that defensive side that Team Liquid Academy could not find an answer for. But hopefully in the next couple of maps you'll see something a little bit more from them as we go into their map pick next.
Sure, Enterprise was a team to keep up with the chaos and were in full control in that one. Let's see if they continue to do just that for the rest of the series. Over to the analyst desk to break that one down.
Thank you very much, guys. And yeah, I mean, look, for the first, what, like 6-7 rounds, we were like, okay, there's a game on our hands here. And then things very quickly went out of hand towards the end of the first half. I mean, look, the thing is, we knew that if Team Liquid were going to have a chance there, they would have had to win their first half, right? The defensive half, the half that they are better at statistically on every single map. There were encouraging rounds from Team Liquid. It's just that Enterprise were in control the whole time, it seemed like.
You know, we ended up something on a 4-4 or something along those lines. And I personally believe that exactly a clutch you saw from Kiles is the one that actually made this map look so dominant. Because otherwise the momentum would have shifted much better for Team Liquid Academy. They would have been in a better situation to put it a 6-6 half or something along those lines. But it is, and this is much more important for you, the defense side, deciding on why Enterprise is actually taking this one home. And this is the crazy part. Enterprise, what they were doing is they were holding just the vision on the deeper spaces. So, for example, you were taking a look from middle towards short a bit. From B main, you were looking towards the orb. From A main, you were looking towards the one-way smoke angle. So you always have those deeper kind of visions, which allow you to always have a reaction on when the enemy takes space. You can stall them again and can work with that much better. And also, you have a better read on what your opponent is doing, because some spaces on the map, like middle, are relevant for, let's say, an A split, right? So if you have this kind of vision, you're much more in charge of the game, and therefore you're much more in charge of the defense. Team Liquid Academy, in their style, is just not suitable on playing long, confusing rounds, and this is what we kind of witnessed. They're not capable of playing that style, and therefore Enterprise had the grip on them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's any surprises who the MVP of that map is coming out of that one. You could ask 100 people. I think 99 would say Yash out of that one. I mean, look, there were so many highlight plays from everybody, right? You mentioned Keyless there earlier on, but Yash was in control the whole time. And here's the thing, GSR, in their last series, in their series against Dirty Elise, was on top on every single map, went well over 100 kills over the course of the best of 5. He was kind of a no-show here, and that's because he was just kept on a leash by Yash here. Look, I don't care what they get up to outside of the game, but yeah, definitely in the game, that was one hell of a performance. And I think this is the thing, right? A lot of those rounds were just standout plays, 3Ks, 4Ks from players. Maybe the actual scoreline, if there were no pop-off rounds, it would have been a little bit closer, but still, I think Enterprise Esports just had it under control.
They did, and I hope, this is very early on in the first half, but from a momentum perspective, I hope Team Liquid, whenever they are going to face a Force or an Eco of Enterprise, they're not being scared anymore. It's so hard to watch. This team has a coach that played CS, and that guy knows and how much you can abuse space when your opponent is afraid. This is a very common thing. There's a reason why CGN has a very similar win rate on those particular rounds. You can't be afraid against them. Take the risk, because this is again a momentum switch that was also in favor of Enterprise Esports. Usually Team Liquid, they win the pistol, great job, but the follow-up has to be converted as well, because this is one of their strong suits, one of their win conditions. Get him those 4 rounds that you usually get with pistol and follow-up. They got eliminated in that condition on half 1. It is a very important one though, indeed. So the fear compartment, you gotta get it out of there. It cannot be part of this game.
Look, we always knew it was going to be an uphill battle for Team Liquid Academy, but they're going to Corrode next. This is their first chance to try and fight back against Enterprise Esports, get their claws into this series, because that's what they need to do. Sometime in the first 3 maps, they just need to get one underway, and then they can start to maybe stage some kind of comeback here. But it's going to be a quick break before we go to Corrode, so we'll see you again very shortly.
And
to my way. You've gotten to me, and that's my mistake. Some might say I can't get too far without seeing your face. Oh, you gave me your heart and took it away. I'm going underground, going underground. Say your loving comes around, going underground, going underground. 'Cause your love is not around anymore. Going underground, 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 yeah. Going underground, underground, yeah. I hide in the dark, nowhere to be found. Where there was a spark.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Samsung Odyssey Challengers Northeast. It's a convincing first map for Enterprise Esports, and Team Liquid Academy left to pick up the pieces. They're moving to Corrode next, which again, I mean, we haven't seen the team back down from them on a best of 5. You know, 2 chances for these teams to have banned it out, and for Enterprise Esports, they did not use either of their bans on Corrode, which has been the home ground for Team Liquid Academy. But look, they showed signs of weakness on this map last time out, and in fact they lost on this map last time they played against Enterprise Esports.
Very much indeed. This is, I think, a thing we really need to mention, because yesterday's Corrode didn't look much stronger, and again, a reoccurring theme that we need to highlight. Team Liquid Academy on the attacking side against Steady Elise was not looking good for most of the rounds. They really caught a grip on getting more high-speed plays in when they were ending that half against Steady Elise, but however, it was not looking good. It was a 7-2 situation they were in, focusing so much on middle that they were clueless on what to come up with. And I personally have to say, I'm worried about this. Both teams know each other decently well, so to say. I mean, in this Corrode game they had, Enterprise was again starting on defense, and the thing that we saw a lot was that Team Liquid, when they were attacking, they were hoping to condition them. Hey, by the way, we're playing this, we're playing that. 4 or 5 rounds in, Enterprise Esports didn't care. They didn't care at all. They just said, like, yeah, we're not falling for those tricks. One of the reasons why they got so great in that half, however, Team Liquid executes. Twiggy, those kind of things are miracles. When they have their ults online, you don't really want to be on the server. So this is why it got so evened out in the end.
I have a thing on my Runner show that currently just says Bacon happy versus sad. I want to know what you have lined up for me.
It's a head-to-head.
Okay, right.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, the head-to-head I forgot is that this is Bacon yesterday. This is our head-to-head, you know, contemplating, but the guy is happy. I mean, I love his emotions because he understands it is part of the game. And then, you know, the other part is, the other head-to-head side is, now we're having him excited and happy, but the frustration is going to grow. And this is unfortunately going to be the case when we swap over to the other head-to-head. Yes, this was my worry for today. I mean, I love the guy's passion, and it is something respectable, not in any negative way, but I saw this coming for today. Maybe we get another folder for today. But yes, is there
a correlation between Bacon having a nose strip on and him having more aggressive reactions, do you think?
No, there isn't. I think no. he's a nose strip chat. I think that's good. No, that's a good thing.
He just likes to be able to breathe well through his nose. There's nothing wrong with that.
Honestly, great decision. I haven't found the correlation yet. We need to get our stats guy on it. Maybe there's a Barrack stat for that. Maybe there's a graphic.
Yeah, we do need to get our stats guys on that one. Look, Barrack, sometimes it limits us with the kinds of stats. I don't know why there wouldn't be a way that you could keep track of that. But either way, we'll be in the game very shortly, as per usual. It's Northeast, it's EMEA. We're having a little technical issue. That's fine. We'll be there very soon. So Corrode, look, I mean, last time these guys were out against each other, it wasn't an Enterprise Esports win. You previously already said before we started the series that you think Haven is the map where they're going to get their first map, Team Liquid Academy.
Yeah.
So, what's your opinion? How one-sided is this going to be towards Enterprise Esports?
Well, I mean, the thing for me is that the first half was unfortunately determined by the matter of fact that Team Liquid Academy, if there's one thing that I would also consider a weakness, is that they're often a bit too slow in their rotations. And this is a rough one against someone like Enterprise. And for me, Enterprise in the decision-making department, they were still pretty slow. I mean, their attacking side rotations are slow at the end of the day. You saw how often they ended pretty late. But this is the thing about Team Liquid Academy. Their anchoring capabilities are not strong. It is just that they have clear weaknesses and they have clear strengths. And their strengths are amazing, but the weaknesses are abusable. And this is something we have pretty much witnessed, or I feel we have witnessed so far in this game. Doesn't mean that we need to see a repetition of this. I'm sure Bacon has something to say. I mean, you remember between map 3 and 4 on what GSR told us yesterday, it is that they can pull themselves together. They very much can.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, every time they have come into every best of 5 they've had so far, they have they've been on not on paper, but in you know, the bracket, the underdogs that they've come through. So this is not a weird situation for them to be in. I think while Bacon has like, we know his reactions are relatively strong. We know he's a very emotional person in the voice chat, but you know, they are level-headed as a team. That's one thing you can say about this team for sure. They are very level-headed, especially the players. I mean, that interview with GSR, he was so self-assured that I have no doubt in my mind that they're coming into this one completely fresh, going, okay, well, look, you know, again, it's Corrode. Every map is going to be a difficult map. It's Enterprise Esports, so we just got to play.
The thing is, I don't know how long our technical break is. Maybe you can inform me, but if it's possible to take a look at the scoreboard from the previous map again, I would love to see it, because actually there's talking about win condition, one that we definitely need to highlight here, which was offline. You were talking about it too in terms of the dual perspective, but the key part is, if we get there, GSR to comparing his normal stats, so to say, his normal capabilities, was fairly offline. It was not even him failing against Jazz, by the way. He was, so to say, better than Jazz in terms of duels, but it still was the matter of fact that it was his other duelist friend Donatello absolutely losing out against him. There were so many scenarios where there was no chance, and if GSR comes online right here, right now, I think we're gonna have a great time for Team Liquid Academy, but let's see on Corrode.
Yeah, and a lot of the time he is going to be the player picking up the Odin as well, which yeah, we've seen it definitely has an impact on this map. I mean, it was theorized from the beginning, as soon as this map was put into the rotation, that, oh lord, all of the walls are made of paper, everybody's going to be picking up an Odin. It definitely made an impact last best of 5, and Team Liquid Academy barely scraped through by the skin of their teeth. 15-13 against Dirty Elise. In fact, it was the only reason they didn't get 3-0'd, is just a couple of rounds difference, and this has again been a very good map for both of these teams. The only time Team Liquid Academy has lost it is to Enterprise, but really the only time Enterprise has played it is because Team Liquid Academy made them play it. They are not the team that likes to play it. They just have by necessity, but they've been good at it.
Twiggy, we need to say one thing.
Yes.
There's been 4 best of 3s Enterprise played. I don't count the best of 1s. They're not a metric that can be taken serious. So I very much believe that there's much more left in the tank for the guys of Enterprise when it comes to this map, but it needs to be shown right here for the 2-0 lead.
Well, I'm sure it will be. We're going to find out now what adaptation Enterprise Esports has made and what Team Liquid Academy learned from yesterday here on the Corrode with Pavlos and Winter.
Okay, you weren't able to hear me. Now you will, though. And indeed, Team Liquid Academy had 15 minutes to reset from the previous match. The previous map where Enterprise completely obliterated. Corrode is the map pick where they choose to make their starts, where they put their faith in at the first hurdle. Is this going to be it, Summer? Can they make it happen?
Well, it's gonna be something that they want to make happen here, because especially going into Haven is the next map. You don't want to give Enterprise another map up to be on series point going into a map that they look super comfortable on. And when I was talking about in the break of Enterprise coming into this one, they played it twice, sure, they were talking about on the desk that they've never actually picked into it, but they have won it both times, so it's not necessarily something that they're ignoring in regards to the map pool. They have put time on it, took the victory over towards Boars in the Upper Swiss, same goes for Team Liquid Academy last time they played it. So heavy fight over towards mid from Donatello, but there's too many players. You peek through the smoke. It's easy pickings.
And in the process, Team Liquid Academy have moved quite close to this B-site push into main already. And sure, Enterprise have got a couple of players available to the defensive side of this, but they've fallen quite far back. They're going to look for some random shots to try and connect, but they are going to let the spike to go down. This is likely going to be a 5v4 retake. Enterprise will have the numbers.
Not necessarily the health, especially when you're looking over towards Doma, but he's in a relatively safe position over towards Heaven. This could be a way back in. If they can get these kills over towards mid, at least that would be one part dealt with.
This is a stronghold Team Liquid Academy are putting up into the slink angle. So Yas is able to find the first pickup. Makes his job a lot easier, and Zeke will just hop, skip, and jump in front of his opponents. Rexone is able to get a lot done here, but the fact that he's low, and there are still two remaining players to deal with, an ace shall not be possible in a situation like this. As much as we would have loved to seen something like that, it's Enterprise with first blood of Corrode.
Yeah, you at least make it a little bit scary. Get a couple of kills and all points for yourself. But I love how from the side of Enterprise, they just didn't stop. Even though they have a player that is 1 HP, could have been another easy picking for Rexone in that situation. Run at him, know that he's going to be low on ammo because he's just dealt with 3 of your teammates. Yeah, just in the replay. Lovely little chain of kills. But in the end, it is Enterprise that walk away with the pistol. Getting aggressive over towards B.
Sure, you've got to take a gamble in a moment like this, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. Into the B side they go, and Starkey already has started softening up the attacking lines. Indeed, it's good, but can't really capitalize off the back of it. Zeke now playing an aim game, scoping in the process. I mean, that is spicy. You can never keep Team Liquid Academy out of the equation, right? You always need to respect the pistols, but I feel like Enterprise aren't giving them any respect, right? They might have their heads ripped off their shoulders time and time again, but it's still Enterprise winning these rounds.
Yeah, and I love just the little bit of utility that we had from Starkey, that you saw the initial push from Liquid Academy is overwhelmed with numbers. They get on site, sure, they lose a couple of players, get a little bit of damage, but then they set their sights over towards CT, instantly nullified by Starkey's paranoia. Liquid Academy know they can't then take that space because it's been scaled upon by those Enterprise players. They look over towards mid, which just funnels players into Zeke's crosshairs, and it does just sort of fall apart from there. But again, it was only those pistols for Team Liquid Academy. So coming into this one with the rifles, there's an outlaw on the side of Enterprise, which is scary.
Aggressive from Enterprise and already blind. Yas still gets away with one. Team Liquid Academy don't even get a chance to see their opponents, so they're lacking the players to deal with this.
And barely any damage even done onto Starkey. And now with the outlaw coming into play over towards mid, Rexstones, I think needs to go to a little bit of the infirmary with that one.
Yeah, needs a little bit of help.
Maybe GSR could heal him up. Hot hands on the floor.
Yeah, I don't think that's how it works. Summer?
Sharing is caring, guys. Share those healing abilities around.
Share that fire of yours. Why not? And yeah, that should help. Okay, let's see how Team Liquid Academy react from this, because the mid-round decision-making is something that we've commented upon so many times. The damage done off of one outlaw shot is bananas.
He's hit every single one of those players. Sure, the initial shot onto Rexone, but it's triple lineup from Cooper, GSR, and Ninja. And now everyone's on 10 HP. Sure, Cooper's on 15, give him an extra 5. But, oh my god. Can we save? 30 seconds left. You can't go for this.
No, you definitely cannot.
No.
You've got the rifle, so you try and hold on to them.
This is insane.
It's nuts, because this is an Enterprise's bonus round as well. This is where Team Liquid Academy were expected to get something good rolling. And look, I mean, Enterprise had the right call, got the first pick, but that's not where the round stopped. It was just due to a couple of Outlaw shots. This is a grand final, for goodness sake. This is not normally.
I know I said about the Outlaw going to be an issue if they look over towards mid, but I didn't think it'd be this much of an issue. Like the Rex trained one, that's what I was expecting. Like maybe even if he got the kill onto Rex, yeah, what is this?
Look at that!
I appreciate the zoom in because
that is synchronized swimming.
Oh no.
I feel like Team Liquid Academy need an Olympic medal for that one.
I want to know Doma's reaction because obviously he probably knew he hit like 1 or 2, but like at the end of the round, seeing like the little damage scored, it's like, oh wait, hang on, I've hit every single one of these guys.
Yeah, I'll probably be like, that makes sense. That's why
they saved in a 4v5. But
yikes!
Impressive start for Enterprise now, 3-0. And again, attention for Liquid over towards this B site.
3 rounds back to back, wanting to poke and prod in this area of the map. Yeah, that is a horror story. Here comes the paranoia though, and some smokes to allow them to cross inwards. Cooper able to isolate one, and that's a double kill. Much more like him for Team Liquid Academy. Doma able to shut down his opponent's IGL. And wanting to be a little bit more conflicting with the shorty as well. How is this so close though? Dimensional Drift looking to see if he can interrupt the spike from going down. He knows exactly where the remaining 2 players are. So Killers is going to try and close up the distance to try and help out. That's a great flash. Rexstone unable to see, trying to break into the back lines. And that's when Killers pounces. Enterprise making this look clean through the chaos. They're the ones in control.
This is reminding me of the initial
That's spray, by the way.
Yeah, the initial start of the Boars game. Because I think, what was that, like a 10-2 half? Admittedly, Boars had a little bit of a turnaround coming into the second half, but it was just straight up domination for Enterprise over towards the start of it. And from the side of Team Liquid's,
enemy remaining.
You've put all your eggs in one basket over towards B 4 rounds in a row. Sure, you did a little bit of an exploration over towards mid on round 3 and got punished even harder with Doma's Outlaw. And because you saved...
Well, the timeout is taken.
Yeah, because you saved, you don't necessarily have the money either. And again, it's 4-0. It's not great anyway in regards to money. You're not getting those rounds. You're not getting the extra influx of cash because it's just not working. And ultimate-wise, Yas has used his. Zeke's close to on as well. Like, there's nothing really you're winning out on. Like, you can't pip Enterprise to the post with anything.
This is a mental timeout more than anything, right? Because it's got to get on your nerves what's going on right now. The thing is, Bacon definitely a very strategical mind. Yeah, we're seeing Zeke going around the world and back again. Yeah, but yeah, Bacon a very strategical mind, but I don't know to what extent he can help out the team emotionally right now. It feels like Cooper has taken up that responsibility for quite a bit, so maybe it was his time to shine here. We'll only find out after this game. We cannot know without that input. And Team Liquid Academy with Sheriffs, a Guardian, and a Stinger to try and make this work.
Okay, this is good pressure though. They've got a decent amount of space. Enterprise, we're having a little bit of a look in towards the start. Flash to get Yas off the angle, and even finding a couple kills over towards main, sorry. Nightfall being invested for extra delay, but they're still wanting to peach. GSR just wants to fight forward, wants to get more numbers in favor, because with the equalization now, they can't necessarily win by numbers.
Yeah, you want a rifle upgrade, and with Zeke being low, you know that you don't also want to be handing that rifle over. So Enterprise forces Zeke back into a more defensive position, and Yas will be the front line here. Could get out, caught out into the open if there's a breakaway. The timing on the smoke is good enough though, and back into safety he goes. Gets one pick, TP back to site, and now Zeke has got reinforcements. And maybe he won't even need to shoot again, because Yas is online. Spoke too quick. As
Zeke is low.
It's got him under wraps. And indeed, one bullet should do the job. And that's exactly what happens. The 2v2 and rifle upgrades available, but Doma's nearby. A smoke may be blocking you off, but it's no wall. It cannot block the bullets. And you can tell Team Liquid Academy not confident in placing that spike into the ground just yet. 14 seconds, and Ninja in the ground, Cupid with everything to do. This is the man you need on the clutch, but with limited time, needs to be as accurate as he's ever been. They line up, but just the one as Dharma turns in optimal timing. Enterprise save the day.
It feels like they're overthinking it. You're talking about the mental aspect of things and momentum being a factor in the first map of why Enterprise were able to steamroll their way in towards that second half and the victory on Ascent. But now it's starting to leak over into Corrode. This might be a slippery slope for Liquid Academy if they aren't able to make something work with this rifle round. Because again, that was a half buy. It was a save, invest as much as you can, sheriffs. But now this is the one that they really need to rely on. Ultimate for GSR and Ninja available, so something flashy, something quick can be available to them.
You've already shown you can be forced to be reckoned with on a lesser buy. Can you make it happen with the rifle? GSR with Run It Back is still alive and ready to party. But look at the push coming off from Starkey. There's a clear idea of what's going on here for Enterprise, but do you have enough bodies to throw out the problem? Double swing. But you've got to be patient. As Team Liquid Academy have all 5 players around this A site. Flash out, it's perfect, catches 2, but you can't really account for the plethora of players around Starkey. You've got to wave the white flag here. They've got to hand this over. Maybe you want to stick around to cause damage to your opponent's economy, but you're not flourishing too much either. This round's finally going to Team Liquid Academy's way.
Honestly, any damage he can do would be great, especially with there is enough funds for a couple of reinvestments, right? Doma and Killers have got a decent amount of money. But another all point overrun towards GSR makes the investment of the double ultimate seem a little bit less expensive because of how low the Phoenix ultimate, the running back, is, it being those 6 points. He is already close to getting it online again. But from the side of Ninja and GSR, it wasn't crazy value coming in from those ultimates itself. It was when they finally got up towards elbow and the peek out of the smoke with those players over towards site as well. Seems like a couple of players are on getting back onto the same page.
Sure. Well, it looks like we have a bit of a technical pause as we're jumping into the next round. But I feel like it gives us a nice opportunity to just have a little chat about something, right? Because obviously, I mean, we've had a chance to talk with the Enterprise players. Never mind, no time for this one. But yeah, it's a buy round, so let's keep that conversation for another time. Operator in Yas's hands. Sure, they've won 5 in a row, but it's not like their economy is unbreachable. Back to a technical pause. We're being teased here. I was going to say, let's have a chat about how the performance of these two teams has come across the split so far, right? Because Team Liquid Academy, they had a dry spell in split 2 and now it's timeout. Okay. The thing is with tech timeouts, you never know how long they're going to last. You can be quit for half an hour's worth of tech timeouts, but when they're just 10 seconds, it's just annoying.
We get the nice short ones, but hasn't Cairo have a 40-minute tech delay? They get
podcast.
Yeah, they start a podcast.
They've had episodes 1, 2, and 3.
It's a series at this point.
I won't complain. I will not complain for the short tech timeouts. Doma, on the other hand, gets away with a drive-by. Already Team Liquid Academy have shown their first cards, but now, do they have anything left in their pocket? Maneuvering towards this A site, still 2 defenders available.
It's a decent setup over towards A, but with the numbers in favor of Team Liquid Academy, if they can isolate these engagements...
Snakebite doesn't completely block them off. Bit short of the mark. Curveball and cross for GSR, and the Hunter's Fury is used preemptively here for Doma. They want that information, that early tag. Look at the minimap though, they are going for that cross. And Killers tries to delay them as much as humanly possible, but he's under a lot of stress. And hides between the cage before it even settles. Still though, the trade is available. Direct zone. And a 3v3 available now.
Even though there's a TP over this trip on flank, I don't think it's necessarily going to go unnoticed, especially with this camera positioned here, unless Doma and Yas break it. But even then, you're going to be worried about those possible elbow pushes.
It's hard. You're hoping that these flashes and paranoias can do a lot of work. And you've already used one of those key pieces of utility. It's netted you one pick, but this is still close. GSR going low, one bullet away from his demise. Ninja gets caught by the clone and has to get drawn back into Starkey's position. GSR, he's running out of bullets and he's revealed exactly where he is. Starkey can play that game all day, and I think there's plenty of time to get this defuse on. A 6th round getting put right back into the pocket of Enterprise.
Do you, as the coach, start to consider using the second timeout within the first half? Because
oh my, what a question.
Looking at how these rounds are going, sure, you can talk about it being close, like if 1 or 2 aim duels or fights went in their way, or just unlucky timing and stuff like that, you could have maybe seen a little bit of a different of a scoreline. But overall, Enterprise have been looking clean. Even in the round that they lost, it was off of heroics from Team Liquid Academy and heavy investments of ultimates.
Where can you lean on if you're Team Liquid Academy? On what and who? Donatello giving some initial information on Killis' whereabouts, but they don't really have much of an idea of what's going on to the back lines of this A-side defense. There are still 2 players available, ready and waiting, and Yas postured in the optimal angle is available to get one. Ninja answering back, but Yas can front line even with an operator. GSR knows he's got heavy lifting left to do. Flash is good, but both Enterprise players had time to re-peek it, look away, and get right back on track to deliver. Team Liquid Academy darting as fast as humanly possible towards this B site, but Enterprise might get there quicker.
And Cooper's going the long way around with this spike. Redstone's not taking any position over towards site itself, so the initial engagement over towards main could be a scary one as a whole. Or at least he's going to get this spike plant down, and there's an opportunity in this post plant.
For a moment there, I thought Redstone might consider trying to halt the map in 2. Catch Cooper on the rotate. But no, it's there's the alternative position.
I don't think
Cooper
Cute's been noted.
Actually taking a step forward, that is mighty good paranoia. And with a recon as well, his position fully revealed. Redstone in a world of hurt here. The spike not even planted for him, so that's going to be a tough one. Yas has got complete cover. A wider swing is required. Sure, get as many players down with you as you can, but that's all you can do because this round is not going your way.
I know both of these compositions lean towards more of that defensive aspect in regards to the control that they can have, or when you're looking at Enterprise, the lack of a hard sentinel or the flank watches that you can have. Like when you're looking at Liquid Academy, you have Raxton obviously putting those trips down. But as a whole, with Enterprise up onto 7, it's getting too much of a round differential. If Liquid Academy can't start getting those rounds on the board, that it starts to get incredibly scary.
I mean, last time they played, Team Liquid Academy at least got the attack side pistol round and the follow-up. Without that buffer, is this really enough? You need the remaining rounds of the half to be competitive. Otherwise, you're in big trouble. A-site is the target, though, and again, Enterprise well-equipped for this. Zeke, with the Odin, able to spray freely across the wall. Prowler sent in, and it makes the job easier for Yas. Zeke goes in for another turn, and the spike is in his feet. And all of a sudden, Ninja and Donatello are left to do it all. 2 of the youngest players on the squad. And you've got world champions up against you. And that world champ quality is exuberating from them. Zeke waving in and out of battle in so much cleanliness. 8-1 being the score. Team Liquid Academy trailing further and further behind.
And the last time that they played this map, it was not this dominant, right? We saw, what, 5-7, 6-6 halves? And for it to get to this point, that we're looking at hitting double digits in the first half for Enterprise, which is completely on the tables. especially with Liquid Academy now being down onto 0 shields for 3 players, stingers. Killer still has this outlaw. Cupid's managed to find himself into spawn. When can he get active?
Indeed. Cupid. Oh, the timing here. How isn't he not heard? How doesn't he look in his direction? But Cupid flying under the radar, and Team Liquid Academy had something to work with for a second.
But it's disjointed.
For a second.
It's disjointed because there's less pressure now on towards B main because the players aren't pushing out of the smoke. It's untimed, and they can, for Enterprise, they can just say, okay, we forget about main. We're not getting pressured by there anymore. They're scared of the smoke. We can just fully commit our players the peaks over towards Q, but deal with it. And now the saving grace is they might be able to get an Odin.
I mean,
but
Killers has an outlaw, so that's scary. 1. Team Liquid Academy not taking the swing simultaneously this time around. Killers there with the outlaw again, but this time in a different position. It is deja vu. Ninja trying to escape the reoccurring dream, but it's inescapable. Killers is the boogeyman in their nightmares, and Enterprise just are a gift that keeps on giving on Corrode's defense.
oh, it's a tough watch right now, especially for any Team Liquid Academy fan. And sure, you talk about the stakes, not necessarily when we're talking about the Ascension. Team Liquid Academy can't play in it, but when we're looking at Challengers, Challengers EMEA, both of these teams realistically want to get a win in the regional league to be able to go into EMEA with the confidence of being, yeah, we're the best representatives here.
I mean, best case scenario for the Team Liquid Academy players is that once they turn 18, they can play in VCT, right? This is their proving ground for them, even if they make it through Ascension or not. That's their hope. And the best way of doing that is by winning. And right now, Enterprise is not letting them do that. Donatello, first blood. Finally, Team Liquid Academy working off of an advantage. Nightfall will make them drop back, but they've left Cupid deep with a spike, so the team will rejoin Killers. This is mighty. Greedy still gets 1. How does that even happen? And they still haven't crossed onto the side. The neural theft is available, so Zeke's position will be telegraphed. Donatello ready. That's the headshot. That's looking better for Team Liquid Academy. They needed a round like this. Now you just need to stick the landing. Don't let Toma and Starkey spoil the day. Yeah. All right. Shut down. Second in pocket. If you want to have a way back in on Corrode, this third is a must. Otherwise, I feel like we can already look at curtains for this map.
But the worst part is you're looking at the 2 rounds that they have been able to put on the board. And sure, I'm sure they're happy that they've been able to convert those rounds, but at the cost of so many ultimates being invested. And it still comes down to those initial entry kills that we saw Donatello and GSR being able to pick up, and the pressure that they're putting over on towards the A site itself. But back over towards B, it hasn't necessarily worked out for them in the past, but Donatello's managed to get a kill through the smoke.
Ooh. Well, that's a lot of information gathered from the dimensional drift. So you know 3 players are still here. Enterprise could have had the choice to drop back, but instead take it a step further. Doma. There's a wall of fire in front of him, and the hot hands will make him lose most of his health, down to 9 points of HP to be exact. Team Liquid Academy, this is looking a lot more solid. I'm sure they would have wished performance like this could have come a little bit earlier. But let's see if Enterprise can respond. Only 3 players, 2 directions being taken up, make that 1. As Yas is taken down. Enterprise have got a crossfire galore, higher and lower ground, and smokes available to them. To add to that, it's a quad kill for Donatello. At least a bit of confidence going towards Team Liquid Academy, closing out this half, but it's still a dominating end for Enterprise, 9-3 being the score.
One of them,
And
Long road ahead for Team Liquid Academy, and that is putting it lightly. Enterprise demanding lead, and now an attacking side where 4 rounds are required to close Corrode out.
Benefit is they're going onto the side where they don't necessarily have the best flank watch. The Team Liquid Academy have opportunities to get behind them, catch them by surprise, but to start with a pistol, with a heavy direct push in towards B. No real pushback from Team Liquid Academy, playing for the retake, something that they're strong at. Oh,
it's a good paranoia, but one escapes it, so that's why Cupid falls. Ninja is able to take one down with him, but has done some damage in the process. Zeke and Starkey could be easier pickings for the rest.
Here are the flanks that I was talking about coming through. It's a double flank, both from Rexton and GSR, but the only issue is Enterprise, with that fight over towards CT, they can plant towards Heaven for CT, and even with the position Donatello and the other two are coming from, they're ready for it.
Look at the patience, not willing to go for the spike plant until they get that pick. Donatello looking to make the difference, but with 22 points of health, is that really realistic? Killer says no. Double digits for Enterprise. Back-to-back pistols for the squad, and Team Liquid Academy with their heads in their hands.
I love that they just did not plan, didn't even tap, just explored CT. They got a couple of kills, had a little bit of a wait, had a look around. No one else is coming from that direction. The only 2 positions that you have not cleared, over towards connector, towards mid, that they didn't peek. All eyes over towards main. Liquid Academy jumping the gun, wanting to be in support on that flank as quickly as possible. Instead, it was Enterprise's way of securing a relatively clean pistol.
And you know it's dire straits for Team Liquid Academy when you force your second round in and you've only got Sheriffs and a Stinger to really make a difference. It's a bit of a rough one. Zeke's on an island and is the opposite of rescued.
Yeah, he's been stranded and unfortunately is not great at island survival. But for Team Liquid Academy, it could be a way back in, and a couple of body shots on towards Yas. A lot of damage, and Donatello, like a thief in the night, manages to nab 2, and Ninja's even got a trade. Killers is the last player alive, spotted, stuck, and that's Nico. Well, not necessarily Nico, it's a full spy, but the weapons weren't in favor. It was Sheriffs that were doing most of the work. And that might be what Team Liquid Academy need to be their way back in.
The gamble stack worked off, right? I mean, putting most of your players onto that A site is exactly what the doctor ordered, right? Fulfill the prescription. Enterprise definitely went in the direction, get caught off, and just like that, Team Liquid Academy may have a way back in.
There.
No outlaw, though, for Team Liquid Academy.
Oh, no. Can't afford that one. I'm sure Team Liquid Academy are happy with that. Starkey, ooh dear, gets caught by the tag. Paranoia also catching him. Team Liquid Academy, very accurate with their util usage as of so far.
Great punish
on their
of
defensive side.
Great punish of space that they're trying to take, especially over towards mid. You want to get Starkey up close and personal with the TPs, catch a couple of players off guard with the space and the timing. Deals with it and then pushes down over towards mid. Which Donatello with this position has an opportunity to pick off killers as he's trying to rejoin with his teammates over towards B.
The timing of that spray as well. Not making it easier for Enterprise, is it? So, boom goes the dynamite. Team Liquid Academy, a couple of rounds in a row. Sure, that was an eco from Enterprise, but confidence now for some of these individuals.
And it's the ideas that they're showing in those couple of rounds. Sure, it's only been 3, but wanting to not only punish any sort of top mid aggression, but off the back of it, pushing down, even though it's against the ecos, wanting to take those risks and having it as that sort of measured aggression coming through on that defensive side. But now coming into this one is the scary one, especially if you remember what happened in the first half. Rifles weren't necessarily the best thing that was happening for Liquid Academy, and now Enterprise have them back out, close to a couple of ultimates, right? Dome is only 2 away now from the Hunter's Fury. Get a kill and a spike plant. Start to make things even more difficult for the side of the defenders when they love to go for those retakes.
Yeah, I feel like suddenly the game has begun to become a little bit more interesting, and that's what we really wanted. Look, Team Liquid Academy chose this map for a reason, right? Last time these two teams met, it was a 13-11. Could have gone either way, especially if you could have won an extra pistol round in there. And look, Enterprise has been the only team to pretty much put a dent into Team Liquid Academy on Corrode. So it's definitely amongst the strongest. They know what the plan is.
I mean, I was talking about it in the break of when we're looking at the 2 maps that we've played so far, it's maps Team Liquid Academy love to play. Played it 5 times before coming into this series with a 4-1 win rate on both of them. Only caveat to that is the only loss Team Liquid Academy has suffered both on Ascent and Corrodes before this best of 5 was to Enterprise. And sure, they were close games, 13-10s, 13-11 scorelines, so you make the conversation that these are well matched on towards the maps itself, and they have sort of brought some fight back and forth. But looking at how we've seen Ascent go this time, how we've started Corrode, and sure, we're getting a little bit of a fight back from Team Liquid Academy now.
Sure.
It's starting to paint a little bit of a scary picture for the Academy team. If Enterprise are coming into this first map 13-5 dominant fashion, 9-3 half, sure, it's getting a little bit sketchy now in regards to that streak of rounds that they were putting together, but it's still a dominant scoreline, 10-5, double the round count of your opponents. If we see this like sort of train that Enterprise have started on, if Liquid Academy can't stop it, it might start to get a little bit scary. So they need a decisive couple of rounds, decisive string rounds, and this is the perfect opportunity to regain that momentum in favor and close up that round differential.
Exactly right. And it all begins from here as it's a buy versus buy round. The first one we've seen this half.
Take flight.
Enterprise leaning towards this right-hand side. A bit treacherous, if you ask me, given the traps available. Hot Hands doing a little bit of damage to a couple of these Enterprise players, but they're not being slow with their approach. A couple of pot shots through the smoke, but it's Rexstoned on this solo journey to defend. The breakaway from Team Liquid on the backlines doesn't pay off. Zeke and Starkey both hold their own, and Rexstone realizes he's pretty much the only one left to be able to do anything. And sure, he may have an inkling that Killis might have escaped to this left-hand side, but he doesn't know that for certain. And as soon as he turns his back, this is when Killis could swing. Cooper will try and be the distraction, aid towards the back line. Rexzone falls, and all eyes on Cooper. Sure, we'll TP away. No faking business with that. Odin will fall into his hands as he attempts to save it for the next round. But Enterprise look to get right back on track with this one, especially Summer, when they've got 4 players remaining at the end.
Yeah, and from the side of Team Liquid Academy, sure, you have 1 player defending over towards the side. Rexstone survives a relatively long time, does enough of a stall job. And with the 3 players coming in support from pushing down mid, they know mid's not an issue. They're only contesting through the link. You can see where all the bodies are. Believe it or not, there's 3 in that little cubby, not just 2. It's right on top of each other. That from the side of Enterprise, they didn't scale up on towards that because, well, Rexstone is there. They're wanting to wait for any sort of aggression that's coming out from the link. They do. They get 3 kills, and then they're in a situation where now Rexstone's isolated, even with all the utility in the world that he has to play around with the trips, the cages. You're in a 1v5 situation, essentially. Too far away to help for Cooper. Is able to save over that Odin, but it's starting to look as soon as we got the rifles out, it wasn't even a question.
No, and that's the thing, right? Enterprise in organized play, very damn strong. It feels like Team Liquid Academy so often rely on those individuals to crack them out of trouble. And the thing is, the reason why they found so much success, both in split 1 and both in this split number 3, is because they do have the individuals that can do that and do it consistently. Enterprise, though, can match that. They've got that fight back of their own, right? Yas is number 1 when it comes to that rating for a reason. And the rest of the roster ain't no slouches either. So you better come at them with a great macro game to deal with Enterprise, because they can match your crazy.
I'm actually interested to see, obviously Enterprise are playing very disciplined in itself on those rifle rounds of having the patience. But at what point do they play with utter confidence? Because we saw it towards the tail end of Ascent with players like Yas on the jet over towards mid. But it's Donatello on mid this time.
Man, that's the thing about Corrode, right? So many nooks and crannies you have to look after, look towards, and make sure no one's hiding out in the shadows and corners. But this time, an angle is created by Donatello himself, uses a smoke, adding an extra element to this map. 2 picks to nothing, Enterprise. Heavy lifting required. And with Team Liquid Academy building up this hill, climbing also to be done. Triple stack up in mid. It's 2 that look to go for this cross. It's a crossfire. GSR gets caught. And Donatello can't swing on time to pounce back off the back of it. What do you do now?
I mean, it was a flash setup, but Enterprise were ahead of it.
They're going for more! Oh my word. The Dimensional Drift, though, saves the day for Donatello. Because of it, he now has got full information that the rest of Team Liquid Academy can react off the back of. But you don't know where Killers is, so still question marks on the map.
This might be a sneaky position for Cupid to sit in, though.
Donatello taken down. Do you know where Cupid is? Oh, that's a good seize.
Now.
And with that one way, Starkey is able to spot Cupid's tippy toes. Rexstone and Ninja in trouble. Enterprise with 5 versus 3. How is it 2v3 now? I mean, we got to see why. They're just bonkers when it comes to this mid-game decisions and when it comes to the shooting capabilities. Rexstone is able to stabilize the Endeavor, though. 2v2 is salvageable. Starkey is down now, so Killers required to bring out the clutch. Rexstone's low, 1 bullet away from his death, and indeed Killers is able to connect onto it. Ninja with the Odin can pre-fire, and that's indeed what he does. And I feel ample time to get the spike defused, and you can see the smiles on this Team Liquid Academy side. They know they've got more confidence coming their way.
Well, 5v3 turned 1 player surviving, not necessarily the best mark to have on your record, but at least it is a mark on the board and in the scoreline. You can see in the replay there that there was a setup for a flash, but they just, Enterprise didn't want to wait around. They just carried on walking straight into the angle, wins out the initial gunfight. And you can see on the player cam reaction what that means. That round in particular keeps Enterprise away from 12 and even puts a little bit more confidence back in the foot of Team Liquid Academy that they're starting to deny the drought of rounds that they've been having. Oh. What?
Okay. Get dinked.
Get deleted, and that's the Euro head-to-head that we've seen. And an entry kill for Enterprise. We saw what they did when they lost the double entry, making it to such a competitive round. It came down to a 1v1 clutch. Now they're the ones with the player advantage. A lot of ultimates close to being online, or even Zeke's and Starkey's available already.
Slowly inching forwards. Enterprise getting to the B site proximity. Upgrade orb as well. Doma now has a Hunter's Fury available to him. GSR looks to close up the distance. That's not too bad, because if you're Enterprise, you feel like you've covered it, but now you realize you haven't. Paranoia is used. Expended, not available for the rest of the round. Is that going to be crucial? Rexstone wanting to join the fight before the spike can go down. Looking to interrupt, but Zeke out of sight and out of mind, and finally taken down 2v2. And now if you're Killers, you know you've gotten away with this. You know you've gotten away with a spike plant. It could have gone wrong so damn quick, but with the Nightfall dropping, it's giving you some space. Team Liquid Academy closing up the distance. But Starkey goes ring around the rosy, creates smoke for his cover. Ninja can't react on time, and Starkey keeps Rexzone on the hottest of seats. 8 bullets remaining, but won't be able to use a single one of them. Starkey with a screamer of a shot, and Enterprise on that point.
And just the fact that he stays in the smoke, doesn't sneak out towards CT, play for time, the safer position, just decides to swing before the smoke dissipates. Now up onto 12. This is where it starts to get really concerning for Team Liquid Academy. If you weren't already concerned how this map has been going so far, is now the weapons, aren't they, have a heavy investment into an Odin and a Guardian and then Sheriffs?
Shadows traveling.
Seek that wields the Outlaw. Might not get as much value as Doma did. Still something troublesome.
Yeah. I mean, Donatello is the type of player that will go into engagements like that and win it 8 times out of 10.
There.
The 2 other times is when you're playing up against Enterprise.
Yeah, it seems like Enterprise are a little bit of a different beast coming into this one today. And now with sight set over towards the B. Doma's ult already available. Yas is 1 away. Killer's same for him. Viper's Pit. Dimensional Drift could be incredibly hard for TLA to deal with.
Well, I mean, run it back has been expended. That's one big key piece of utility that Team Liquid Academy were banking on. And Enterprise have been able to avert it. No impact off the back of it. Hunter's Fury now released, and GSR's been spotted and taken down. Cooper, he's the only saving grace, really. But one Sheriff cannot spray. Rexzone, however, has got a rifle to help out with. And on the chase, Enterprise looking to see if they can isolate any of these players to stick to this latter stage of this round, but Cooper goes down with a ship and a 2v2 required.
But they have to get back onto site, have to get the spike down, and both players coming through, they can spam this position, and especially with the Odin, it might just work, but I don't think the spam is going to hit!
Zeke, he's in the Matrix, avoiding every single bullet approaching. But full focus mode, because job's not done. This round could be the end of Corrode, and you know it, and you don't want to let these chances slide by. Rexzone and Ninja. Do you pre-fire? Do you peek together? Do you wait for the smoke to deplete? Starkey, whatever happens, it feels he's got their number. Crossfire for Enterprise. They've got what's needed. One's distracted, but the other one can shoot. Ninja, with barely any health remaining, with barely any time, he's on the chase, but he's the one that gets hunted down. 13-6 being the score. Enterprise, back-to-back maps, and they make this best of 5 look like a real daunting task for the Team Liquid Academy squad.
They're making it look like a breeze for themselves, though. We're even looking at some of the rounds that they lost, right? How dare you lose those 6 rounds? Because you're looking at some of those of it being 3v5, and you're still able to make it so competitive that we start believing it comes down to the 1v1. And you can see the ramifications, not only that had onto Liquid in regards to money, the fact that they were only able to keep 1 player alive, you start struggling to field a full buy, full utility and stuff like that, but you also have the mental aspect of it, the momentum really in favor of Enterprise, not only in this map, but I feel like it's starting to be in this series, especially after Ascent.
Well, there are definitely a few things to be broken down here, so let's let the analyst desk do that indeed. So throwing it over to Twiggy and Zesh to let us know their thoughts.
We will certainly try our best. Thank you very much. I mean, really, look, Team Liquid Academy love to make it difficult for themselves is the only way I can really put that is, wow, that first half, it took them up until their backs were literally up against the wall to even stage anything.
The thing about this team is that they really try to force their damn head through the wall. I mean, repeating the same kind of approach multiple times again and again and again and again. It was really getting a bit frustrating to see to a certain extent, because it reminded me of the 7-2 half we had yesterday versus Steady Ulysse. You know, it looked a bit like that. And I have to tell you, it is a bit unfortunate, because I just wish sometimes this team would use all the abilities they have great skills, and just mix them through a little bit more. Do a little bit of a slow approach this round, faster this one, so on and so on. Team Liquid Academy, yep, they made that A take work in round number 6, and afterwards it was going really bad again because Enterprise, they are standing free A the entire time because they understand how you play. Enterprise never needed to worry on any kind of lurks, flanks, fakes, because Team Liquid Academy doesn't do that. So why not gamble more towards the side? They are coming very likely anyway. Worked perfectly for them. Got a bit sloppy towards the second half, but either way, that 13-6 looks even less dominant than the entire map was.
Yeah, we really hope to see a little more from them here at the very least. Look, I mean, Enterprise Esports won this one last time out, so it's not a massive surprise that they managed to do it again, but that chance of it being a 3-0 is just slowly increasing and increasing as Team Liquid Academy. Look, here's the thing. The reactions from Bacon, they started to look, you know, the stages of grief. Anger is definitely before acceptance, and it looked more like acceptance that game than anger there.
I mean, for me, at this point in time, it's clear. The guys from Enterprise Esports, the first time around, were not sure who they're dealing with. They knew. Now they know. 100%. They are very, very aware on the playstyle of Team Liquid, which also hasn't changed too much considering the first time they have met. So I really have to admit, it's not that different. And this is the shocking part probably for Enterprise on, let's say, how much actually the preparation comes true in what they've seen. Yeah,
look, here's the thing now. Obviously, they have to start coming back. There's no option but to get the reverse sweep for them, and it's and it is now just so difficult. They have made it once again as difficult for themselves as possible. It's the same thing as last grand finals. They got into this position here as well. They managed to do it that time. I don't know if they're going to be able to keep up their 3-for-3 in best of 5s as it stands. Let's take a look at some of the stats from that game as well, because I think you want to take a look at the duelist there.
Exactly. I mean, winning condition, we couldn't see the scoreboard last time around. GSR versus Jazz. I mean, honestly, you see one win condition being offline, and it's just right now the system of Team Liquid not having the same freedom, which would allow him to work that way. Also, individually, not online as much as possible. And Jazz on the other side is having a field day. You know, it's looking remarkable what this guy's doing. Once more, topping the scoreboard on that previous map, overall leading over the entire series so far. It's not too surprising, to be honest. And yeah, win conditions, hitting shots is part of it. What an obvious statement. And GSR, as such a carrier of the team very often, needs to now be more online, so to say, to make that difference over on Haven.
Yeah, look, and we can take a look at one of the rounds during that game as well, round 13. Take me through this, because what is the adaptation that these guys need to make at this point?
I mean, it's more about really giving a big shout out to Enterprise, because this is just a regular pistol, you might say. And okay, you know, they're pushing as 5 basically. Okay, you cannot really stop this. Fair play. You know, that's totally fine. This is not a thing. Team Liquid Academy, they want the retakes. However, Enterprise knows Team Liquid Academy wants the retakes. We are not playing on side. We're not planting that spike. We are fighting your win condition. We're not giving you freedom. And this is the thing we also talked about yesterday with Daddy Ulysse. They were the ones who gave Team Liquid the freedom of play, a standard retake. Enterprise Esports right there showed your win condition does not apply to us. We play against your win condition. And this was a perfect example, the start of the half that already made clear you cannot play your game. You're not allowed to play it the way you want. And this is one of the reasons why they're succeeding so much right now in this series so far.
Yeah, okay, so Silver Linings for Team Liquid Academy is the next map up. Is also a map that they're not too unhappy on. You could have said that for the last 2 maps as well, though. So this is going to be an interesting one. Haven is up next, and they did lose this yesterday, 11-13, but still, it's going to be a difficult one for them. They're really going to have to recuperate after those first 2 maps, and they're going to have to do it in a absolutely intense way. We've got a short break, and then we've got Haven.
And
sign my deal, I pay my dues. Affiliated to this paper, I need freedom for my family line. Draw my life design up like fine art. I'm jumping off just an unfamiliar coordinates. Hopped off the porch like I could touch the sky. Red is not one trillion. The ism talk the water out your faucet. Look at me flossing, I'm so wavy, I could change the tide. My intuition says the hatred.
Samsung Odyssey challenges Northeast with 2 maps in here in the grand finals, and it's looking a bit dire for Team Liquid Academy, as both of them have gone the way of Enterprise Esports, and quite thoroughly, may I say so. So it's a very difficult run now for Team Liquid Academy. We know they are a team who does have that under their belt, but my worry now is, has Enterprise Esports just ramped it up so quickly that Team Liquid Academy haven't even had time to collect themselves and stage a comeback?
I think the difference to yesterday, pretty importantly here, Twiggy, is that whilst yesterday it always looked like there's a chance, the maps are so close, I think right now, very, very firmly, the steering wheel is in the hands of Enterprise Esports. They understood their opponents so well so far. They understood the approach they need to take to make them feel uncomfortable. And look, Team Liquid Academy is far off from being a bad team. Really, really, really far off from that. But this is right now the difference that when taking a look at the games from Enterprise and taking a look at Team Liquid Academy, this is the difference that I see in this team. Whilst Team Liquid Academy has a great strat book, once the key pillars, the key fundament of how their strat book pans out is not existent, they struggle. And this is pretty much what we're seeing, because Enterprise Esports is not giving them the framework to work with in that instance. It's hard to see the guys from Team Liquid Academy coming back. But remember, you asked me about a prediction at the beginning of the series. I said if there's a map to lose, which isn't even reasonable, it would be Haven. It's not reasonable that they would lose it as Enterprise, but if so, then this one.
Okay, out of the 3, this one's the most likely. I mean, we've gone 13-5, 13-6, Maybe we break the cycle. We don't go 13-7, or maybe it is 13-7, but the other way around. I kind of doubt it would be that one-sided towards Team Liquid Academy, but we'll see. You never know. You never know. These guys have had absolutely... Look, take a look at their sunset between their game against Metasport to their game yesterday, and you will see that they are capable of making adaptations that are groundbreaking. So it is possible. Look, the problem is it's difficult to keep you guys kind of like, feeling like, Team Liquid Academy can do this, they can do this, because right now what we're looking at is a very one-sided series between the champions of Challengers EMEA and the team that didn't even get into the playoffs in Stage 2. That is what we are looking at the moment, and it's a long road to get to that point again where Team Liquid Academy are fighting back. They're trying to get their their 4th best of 5 in a row where they win in 5 maps, but it is going to have to be that way if they want to do it. Maybe they were just making sure that it took 5 maps and no shorter than that. Somehow, I kind of doubt it. Here's the thing. Yesterday was a very long day for you and myself, for the production, but it wasn't for Pavlos and Summer, because they weren't here. They weren't casting that one. It was Hazard and Cairo casting that one. So I would hate to deprive these 2 amazing casters of more airtime. And so therefore, Team Liquid Academy, we could just give them a tech pause for 40 minutes, and that would get it done. I don't want to tempt fate with that, but look, Team Liquid Academy, come on, give our casters a chance.
Most importantly, I mean, here again, the key difference in the composition, right? Double duelist, Team Liquid Academy really enjoying that part. And Enterprise on the other side, they are playing this somewhat standard composition, again with the Vipers, such a pivotal key piece that exists on the Enterprise side to continuously cycle, to go take back rooms in the mid round, in the late round, and to control big parts of the map. It is a very key difference in how they approach this kind of game. And again, I think it is something where now Team Liquid on the defense side, what they've been doing yesterday against Steady Ulysse was obviously going much more on the forwarding in front of the A space, taking the space they can get, ruling out and helping with better rotations. They were great at retakes again. It was a 13-11 loss, so pretty tight, pretty close. But I personally believe they saw the VOD, they know what's going on, and now it needs to be a miracle adaptation from Team Liquid Academy to make it work.
Look, it's a long road up from here. Call Miley Cyrus up, because it's the climb. Team Liquid Academy, they've got to pull off the reverse sweep if they want to finish off in first place this season. Let's see if they can do it. Starting with Haven, it's Summer and Pavlos.
Hannah Montana.
Well, Team Liquid Academy, just gonna walk past, I just heard that. But Team Liquid Academy, so far, they've played 4 best of 5s, and they've won every single one of them, but all of them had to go to 5 maps. They're gonna need a reverse sweep to make that a 5th best of 5 and a potential 2nd title here at Challengers Northeast. But Summer, Haven has to be where that comeback begins.
Yeah, and going into Haven now, I'm looking at the compositions specifically of weighing up how well Team Liquid Academy might be at dealing with what Enterprise have to offer in regards to this composition. It's the same thing Formulation have been running in this split, and they dealt with it relatively well. They were able to shut down 1-0 on the Neon, not allowing Corsair to get too many looks. But I will say, as much as I love that Formulation roster, it's a little bit of a different beast going against Enterprise. Sure. Not only Enterprise being the Challenger Split 2 winners, Northeast winners, but also coming into this, in this series, they have improved and doubled down on the first 2 maps of their previous records. Now even going on to Haven, composition that enables Yas might be a little bit scary if Team Liquid Academy can't shut it down early.
Yeah, Yas was the front runner in the first map of the series. Of course, Corrode, you saw more and more individuals rally up around him. It was more of a collaborative effort, if you will. For this one, Enterprise will be seeing that man put in a lot of difficult positions and the front man in many of these aggressive stances. But for now, look at Enterprise along that 1 minute mark, made the decision to traverse towards his left-hand side. And look, it might just be the right call.
They are leaving Cupid behind, and with Doma just being a little bit of a nuisance over towards mid, can keep a couple of players there, buy some time, keep it off-site. A lot of utility expended with the stuns. That's going to be lacking for the retake, because look at what Enterprise have to work with. It's realistically the smokes and the rechargeable utility is all they've got.
Well, Team Liquid Academy at least have got the historical fact that they've been pretty damn decent on retakes, but on a pistol 5v5, that's going to be a hard ask. Let's see if they are able to make this one work. Smoke towards the left-hand side, giving some space. Zeke closing up the distance. Look how GSR softened up a little bit. And Starkey hiding within the smoke, this is so difficult to deal with. And Reed finds 2 headshots. Killers is right by Starkey to help him in that endeavor, and Zeke will continue to keep the rest of the Team Liquid Academy further back. And they cannot even enter the site, stuck where they stand or where they lie, because it's 1-0 for Enterprise, and they continue to show up from the very start of each and every map.
They had no utility. All they needed was the rechargeable smokes from Starkey to stave them off over towards Garage, and then you just have Killers with the orb over towards the spawn side and that entrance into C. And there was nothing that Team Liquid Academy could have done. They didn't necessarily have any flashes from Donatello to push out those smokes. As soon as that orb came down, Enterprise were ready to meet them at the door.
Doomed. That's what they were. Team Liquid Academy just pistols, so that's why you see a bit of a death ball composition going in for them, 4 players stuck up together. But I feel like they are going in the direction of Zeke here, and who's got the least to lose. And Maldoma takes down Cooper. I think slowly you'll gain the idea of what is going on. Sure, the spike holder goes down, but like I said, Zeke didn't really have a weapon that they'll worry about losing. Therefore, a 2-0 is quite straightforward for this Enterprise side.
No shenanigans, at least in this pistol and the conversion. Nice little clean up over towards the end. You even have already presence from Doma on the extremities, being a nuisance. Able to pick up a couple of kills, gain some space. So even if things turned bad over towards the day, they had that sort of plan B of spike in a retrievable position, able to divert and turn their attentions over towards C, which has already been cleared out. And that's going to be a pivotal point in towards this one, is Doma's position on this extremity. Same goes for Yas. It's Yas and Doma of sort of 100% and 0 that you're really wanting to look at in regards to what they can do across the map as a whole.
Slow and steady pace, as we've become accustomed to with Starkey's calling. Often it's put the Enterprise team under a bit of trouble occasionally, but it feels like they've been able to pace themselves nicely so far today. And for a 5-rifle bonus, this isn't bad at all. Take up the garage space. So question mark traded on the map for Team Liquid Academy, but they vacate the premises early.
Deploying drone.
And the thing is, you look at the buy, you ignore the score at the top. This just looks like a normal round. And especially a normal round that Enterprise will have enough to invest into the next one. Team Liquid Academy, not so much. So it's super important that Taylor are able to convert this one, because Enterprise, this could be that momentum builder as well.
Again, Cooper initially left to himself, but reinforcements arrived by Donatello. You don't really want to allow Enterprise to settle into the site, especially spending 3 players in effort to keep your opponents at bay. It's only worked out just a little bit for Cooper. GSR as well takes one down, but Ninja knows it's all down to disrupting right here, right now. 10 seconds on the clock. Doma keeping his teammate afloat. The spike will find itself into the ground, and Doma triples up.
And it's great that Team Liquid Academy want to fight before the plant goes down. We're going 1-for-1, especially after losing the first initial pick over towards backside, over towards plat. When you're not able to connect for a double kill, for a multi-kill to bring the round back into your favor, you're stuck in a situation where, sure, the time's low, but it feels like that's where Enterprise thrive. Everything's covered for, everything's watched, spike goes down. And this is what I was talking about with the money. Share us out for Team Liquid Academy. Enterprise are just building up their bank account.
Yeah, they are, and they're also building up bodies, a tower of bodies, and Donatello will just be the base for this round. Yeah, not a fun endeavor for Team Liquid Academy. This is not the grand final we expected at all. These teams have gone toe-to-toe. They've got Northeast title apiece. They've met plenty of occasions, and even recently in the playoffs, right? Even though it was a 2-0 for Enterprise, the maps were very close.
I mean, that's what we were talking about of, the storyline of this one. Team Academy won in the start, and then they had trouble adapting to the new meta, the meta changes that came in for Split 2, that now into Split 3, they've had a couple of role changes. They're sort of leaning more into the off meta, not the bread and butter comps, pulling a couple of things out of their hat, of like using a lot of the waylay.
Sure.
And we could be like, oh, this could be a great finals. We could see who's going to be really the best, because everybody, like you said, everybody's got one. Got Team Academy Split 1, Enterprise Split 2. The only issue is Team Academy aren't necessarily going to be a contender in this one, I don't think, unless something changes. This is the right round they need on the board, because Enterprise, they're starting to heat up, man.
I feel like the prerequisite for Team Liquid Academy to do well here is if Enterprise aren't playing at 100% from the very get-go. And that wasn't the case. Enterprise came in guns blazing. And they've continued to do so. Now, like you said, a very dire situation. A buy round and an operator into the hands of Donatello.
And look where he's going to be posted up, helping over towards C with Cooper. And look at where the Enterprise players are going.
This is massive. If you end up with a pick and get away with your life, this could be huge. From the shadows enabled. Where was that land? Where did that land? Didn't quite spot
it's been
it.
spotted.
Oh, it's gone towards spawn, but they don't know it's been deleted. It's caused so many players to drop back for so damn long. So it means that there's only one defender on C, and he has to vacate the premises. Site takeover for Enterprise, and it's for free.
Doma has ult on plant as well. There's so much delay that can be done, whether it's putting the ult over towards site or over towards long. It's site that he chooses.
This is huge. Team Liquid Academy have a choice. Do you wait for the lockdown to expire, or do you go for it right here, right now? They choose for the latter. Cooper walking to a smoke, and that's where Starkey has laid out his den, fully in control of his own realm. Ninja, the only one left behind, but he's there for Starkey's dessert. At 5-0, we said this was a crucial one for Liquid Academy to take, but indeed, it goes the other way.
It's just... It had to be Doma that gets the ult online. It forces them into a situation for TLA.
Doma's 9-0!
Yeah, but Starkey's 8-0.
What's going on?
unkillable demons of the East, bro. Like, it's actually insane. Because we were, like you said, Enterprise are normally slow to start in series. As they heat up as they go in, as they get more comfortable in the game. And if this is them comfortable, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Cooper wanting to line up his shot there, knows he doesn't have many chances, but Yaz just swings by, dashes through. No catching up to the beast. Looking to lock in an MVP for this tournament. Because this isn't the end result for Enterprise. They've got challenges in the air, they've got Ascension, what that they're looking for. Team Liquid Academy are just a stone in the way.
It's a stepping stone. Not even only just Team Liquid Academy, but this finals as a whole. Like, they saw in the pre-match of this isn't the end goal. They're gonna take every match. They want to win everything as they get on their way to VCT, to Ascension for an opportunity. And now on the Eco, it's not really much for the rest of the players to do. Sure, a couple of consolation kills for Ninja on the way out, but it's still Enterprise surviving with 3 and have 6 on the scoreboard.
Look, we've seen the various ways teams have made it into Ascension. Right, we've had 2 examples so far, right? Gentlemates, we've had Apex. From this region, well, the previous iteration of this region, rather, it was a completely different story, right? Apex was dominating from the very beginning of the season. Enterprise, though, had a slow start. Split 1, they looked a little bit worse for wear, even though the names took everyone by surprise.
Finals is fine in Split 1.
But you get rolled over by 2 sets of rookies.
Yeah,
Shakma and Team Liquid Academy, right? That's not exactly where you want to be when you're the favorites for the entirety of Ascension. But let's see how this one goes. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Enterprise are netted.
Spike plant denied. At least for now.
No.
But...
no. Yes. The minigame is won by Enterprise. And sure, you don't get the spike plant down at first, but you definitely have a second chance to do it, and that's exactly what's happened. Cooper and Ninja in a very tough world. And boy, they need something more than a miracle. They need something from a different realm.
They also have Zeke's
Divine
ultimate as
intervention,
well.
perhaps?
I don't know.
It's not happening. Oh, the pure intuitive play for Yasa spray in that direction. Connects with a headshot. This man is unleashed, unlocked, and he's a beast.
Even though you get a couple of kills, it's not even into a situation where it makes it believable. Domo still had a nano swarm left to throw. Zeke still has a Hunter's Fury, still has shock darts even. And that's if you even need it. You can pro one way on towards the bomb from Starkey, or you just send Yas in and let him deal with it. And now we're at a point. Sure, it's attacking side, it's favored on Haven, but surely not this favored, right?
All right. Hunter's Fury is available, Mule Theft as well, and so is the Dimensional Drift. Team Liquid Academy have got a lot available to them to make this round work, and you can see it pushes from mid and garage. Nothing goes their way, though. And in the meantime, Starkey has walked up in long.
And the Hunter's Fury did nothing. So you haven't even got that in your back pocket to deny a spike plan. So when the site here actually comes through, you're banking on kills. Maybe GSR has a chance.
Starkey? TP, it's not a fake. Goes in for another one. He's out of dodge, man. Starkey's gotten away.
He's gone back in.
He wanted another piece of that pie, but the spike is left behind, and GSR is mad. He is pissed. Enterprise were having too much fun, he says. Overdrive here for Yas, but it's a bit too hard of an ask. Again, Team Liquid Academy are no slouches. Given a chance to take a 1v1, they'll take it.
Toxins going up.
This is not going to be a flawless one. This is not going to be an easy one. Team Liquid Academy will want to put some resistance in place.
Hang on. He already knows Ninja's crossed to this position, aware of it.
No way he's got a chance. Oh, no way. Look at the giggle. Look at the smile on Killers right now.
Surely
he knows he's made Team Liquid Academy shake. Sure, he loses this one, but he knows how much stress Team Liquid Academy are under right now.
But it is around. Okay? It's a pause to the red carpet Enterprise were laying out for themselves.
I mean, 5 rounds left in the half. It's not unsalvageable, but they've got a trend to break.
Yeah, and Enterprise don't even want to let them have an opportunity to turn this slither of a round into anything more than it is. A blip for Enterprise. I'm taking a timeout just to ensure it as well. Save off any momentum gain or attempts at a momentum gain, because the thing is, it's not even a conversation we can make of like, okay, Team Liquid Academy, they just need to get like another one, like string 2 rounds on the board because they've been making the rounds costly. So there's not much money for no, there's so much money for Enterprise to work with. They can buy a couple of rifle rounds going forward. They even have ults coming back up online now. Looking over towards Starkey close to his. Sure. If they can get onto site, you have Killers and Zeke as well for the post plant. But benefit is we started to see individuals have a couple of moments in the last round, which is realistically what Team Liquid Academy needs. We need to get some kills on the board, because with the top fragger being tied of Rexton, JSL, and Donatello, normally players we're praising being stuck on 3 kills apiece, definitely makes it more difficult.
Well, a slow laid out plan for Enterprise. That's a pre-fire.
Ouch.
Oh, and for a moment, Donatello's like shaking. Did they see me? Are they peeking? No, they just pre-firing you, mate. Down to 75 points of health already.
But it also staves him off walking any further. So it's space they haven't been able to gain.
There are 3 players looking into this position. GSR, this is a cute angle. You could potentially take Doma down. Look how Enterprise are rallying up the troops.
Oh, the
crouch peek. Doma, that is disgusting.
And that's an entry kill. But there's nothing necessarily fast off the back of it. It's still a slow scale up on long from Starkey.
Oh. Individual fight. Over and over again.
Hang on.
What? Even Blind Cooper gets 2? Somehow salvaged. Team Liquid Academy's IGL has brought the team right back on track to win this.
But they still have the ultimate. If they can cross over towards Spike, get this Viper spit down, get the Spike in. It makes it difficult for Team Liquid Academy in the retake. Sure, they have a Sova drone, which might help.
Was that Yash trying to break the recon? It feels like it. And caught out into the open because of it. Killers gets given a chance. And look how calm his demeanor is.
No Molly, has to fight.
Tightening the grip on the mouse. Breathing in and out. Because it's all on Team Liquid Academy's court here. They're the ones that need to figure out where Killers is placed. Rexzone for the chase, looking to appear on the screen, and indeed it does. Information available. Ninja looking for the random spray. It doesn't connect. Instead, it's Ninja that goes lower and lower as he falls into the toxins. A bullet is required for Killers to seal the deal. The clutch and Enterprise on an 8th round.
And even though they got it down into the 2v1, massively played around in the ultimate from Killers. Avoids. Wait, the reaction on that camera. It's still going. It's still
Make
going.
it stop. Make it stop. I don't know what I'm watching. Oh, Zeke's cam is brilliant to watch today. Team Liquid Academy under so much trouble, and I feel they're lucky they're not seeing their opponents right now, because they're being toyed with, quite frankly.
They're having fun. Because at this point, sure, you're even forcing a timeout from Team Liquid, but that's fine. It's 8-1. You're in a position to have a very strong half. And going into that one, you just can't, nothing goes in your way. And he's eating a pot noodle.
Bon appetit, mate.
Is this mid-game? Is this live or in the timeout?
Timeout. Timeout.
Yeah, you use your opponent's tack timeout to get a little bit of a munch in on your pot noodle. Fueling himself up.
Pot noodles. Look tasty as well. Okay, let's see if the refueling has worked. Team Liquid Academy They've got a lot in store for them to get the ball rolling here on Haven. Cooper looking to escape, but Donatello left behind to see if he can collect anyone on their way towards this A site. But indeed, the push has been put to a halt. Stopped for now. But it's not like he used too much. Killers has gone down to 5 points of health, so that's a positive for Team Liquid Academy. But look at this push in mid. As two players crossing closer and closer. GSR's with a hero Vandal of the round, so you'd want him to do some heavy lifting.
The only issue is, if he carried on walking, there's not necessarily any get out of jail free card that you would have with possibly Donatello going for that mid push. But instead, decides to rejoin with his teammates, and it's a gamble stack looking like it's coming in for Team Liquid Academy. Trying to get players out on towards the C site, possibly even cross to plat before this hit comes through, or a triple peek actually towards long.
Whoa, that is clean.
Oh, they were just ready.
That is an understatement. They knew exactly what was going on. Ninja will try and be as sneaky
30 seconds left.
as his name would allude. Whoa.
Player standing.
And boy, is he spicy with those share of shots. But it's just not enough. Doma is having a field of a day. Beautiful quad kill for him. Sure, it's against a lighter buy, but it was still a force. And it was still a bloody 4K.
Yeah, just this long peek in general. You see three players getting ready to peek from backside. You hope you get at least more than one, maybe catch a couple of players off guard or with the utility out ready. No. Enterprise on that slow walk up. Nothing could surprise them. And for this now, with Ninja not having the Hunter's Fury available and massive ultimates of GSR and Rexman not being online, I wouldn't hate to see Doma use his ultimate aggressively, especially since it's so close to the end of the half, but not going to get a chance. Taking off the board early on.
Okay, now two players in the lead. Starkey just walks out of smoke. Try peek, casually, as you do. Cooper, attention to this. Oh, that is clean. That's a nice shot. So you've put Zeke and Starkey now into a bit of a predicament. Looking to see if they can work this one out individually. Thing is, Zeke is maneuvering towards C, and there is a dangerous Cooper around and waiting. Catches the timing, back of the skull, and Starkey, now with 50 seconds to work with, will also get shut down in a similar fashion as his teammate. That's the second round, now available for Team Liquid Academy.
Last round before the switch.
Could this be a similar sort of resurgence that we saw on Corrode towards the end of the half? Because the initial kill and then the follow-up within the ultimate from GSR, it's exactly what we were sort of asking for in the last two maps, of someone to step up. But even then, it's just one round additional to the board to make it 2. With Enterprise already on 9, 3 ultimates now to work within this last one. Prime opportunity to hit 10.
From the shadows, allows a quick and breezy rotate to this A site. So a triple defensive setup. Ninja, off the back of this flood smoke, does get caught from the Owl Drone tag down to half points of health. Lockdown enabled, so this makes Enterprise a little bit more angsty, going for the aggressive stances, not quite waiting for the pop of the ult, but this also means Team Liquid Academy are close by. Shock Dart closing Ninja's life. This is so chaotic. But look at Donatello on the flank. This is the highly influential player. The equation that Team Liquid Academy need.
But they've just completely flipped it.
Oh my god, they can just leave. They can just ignore the A site. They'll also pay attention to Catwalk and Long now.
And the thing is, Donatello's had to go for a little bit of a wander. He was over towards A long. Sure, this is at least a positive that he's positioned himself over towards B, has an opportunity to
30
keep
seconds
them
left.
guessing, catch them by surprise. And steps forward. Does the spike go first?
The spike did go first.
Down, C.
Now you know you need to get the pick. Waiting for the TP, but instead Donatello seizes the chance to take that individual fight. But Doma It feels like he's been unleashed on Haven. He's smiling. Enterprise are just having fun. It's a different game they're playing. But the half is done, and it's double digits already on the board for Enterprise. Currently leading 2-0, but very quickly, this could become 3.
And
Enterprise have been so damn impressive, and it's this time Doma's turn to do a lot of the lifting. Team Liquid Academy, on the other hand, it's an understatement to say they need this pistol. A long way to go, but it has to start now.
Understatement and a half, I think. And Enterprise do have a little bit of a trap set up over towards B, so playing more for the retakes on the extremities of A and C. But with so many players in this central position, they can be ready really quick for the retake.
Quite swifty. Enterprise haven't lost a player though, so this could be an explosive 5v5. Team Liquid Academy closing up the distance, looking to move closer to the smoke. Enterprise are thinking this could be the case and are ready for it, anticipate it. 3 picks to the 1, and Team Liquid Academy in dire straits. Cooper a little bit further back, and with Rexstone covering the long angle, hoping that his captain can stick around for a little while longer. That is definitely not the case. As smooth as butter, Enterprise swipe through this round as if it's nothing, and 11th locked in.
We talk about it being Enterprise of the slow and steady, waiting for their opponents to make a mistake and capitalizing off any sort of overextensions. It feels like it's mind games at this point, because for the side of Team Liquid Academy, sure, they have sight, but they want to get an advantage. They push towards CT, but Enterprise are just sat waiting. They're having a leisurely time playing in towards this game because they're being offered stuff on a silver platter, and they just know exactly how to take advantage of it. And in towards this situation, a pistol that was necessary for Team Liquid Academy, and they only lose 1 player.
I feel it's good we're seeing this side of Bacon as well, right? Because we've seen how he reacts when his players can't hear him, but having the right demeanor to handle what your players are also feeling at the time could be the make or break for a team. The tone, the confidence, the energy, the belief. That's something a coach can put into a player's mind. And Bacon has definitely taken the right demeanor for this one. It is a really tough ask for Team Liquid Academy to come back. But again, they're here to prove themselves. They're here to give this as the best try they have, right? This is a test as any for the young players of Team Liquid Academy. A test that could prove very helpful for their future on careers.
Yeah, and it's the belief in the project of what Team Liquid Academy are trying to achieve. They're not going to Ascend. They can't even play in Ascension because of being in an Academy team. But it's more of showcasing the players that they've been able to train up in this sort of T1-esque experience of how the team operates.
Starkey very close to the action here. it may be a bit of a ruse to make Team Liquid Academy believe they are safe towards the back of the site, because there are so damn many Enterprise players lurking in the shadows. Ninja, that is spicy. That might give you a way back into this. GSR locked out of the smoke. Enterprise wanting to isolate the mid player. Ninja poking his head out, but GSR swings and he's slowly running out of bullets. Yas finds the other angle and the upgrade is there for him. Phantom in hand. Ninja throwing down a recall, realizes his opponent is no longer there. Yas can take that fight as he pleases. A lot of margin for error. One round away from Enterprise becoming the Challengers Northeast and East Split 3 champs.
Match point.
And it would be back-to-back for Enterprise as well. But not even just back-to-back regionally, but adding on to the accolades that they've been able to build up in the last few months. Split 2 champs, into Challengers, EMEA champs taking down one of the favorites to also ascend towards the end of the year, VDL Pacific. I can't look at these player cams anymore.
I feel like if I want the context as well, because it's as if these players are saying, "What's that?" I don't know. That takes me back. I don't know if I'm a boomer in saying this. Either way, yes. First up, we shot onto Donatello. At least there's a little reply here from Cupid. The wall allows some cover for the individuals of Team Liquid Academy to walk close, but the Snakebite will put a halt to the push. And double packed is the decision here for the Academy.
It was a decent amount of scale, which means that Enterprise have to invest some sort of utility to re-clear it out. And that's exactly what they're going to do with Zeke's Owl Drone. But they haven't cleared over towards long. They know short is clear.
Oh no, Killers with the Outlaw again. Oh, this time though, it only nets one pick. Liquid Academy can now cross in. Pistaki finds a rifle and Zeke has got the cross line. Oh boy, Enterprise. They've done it, back-to-back Challengers Northeast champions. They did what they set out here to do. They did what they came here to deliver. And now, one step closer to ascending, they'll give Challengers EMEA another go at the top of their very own region.
Just another rung on the ladder on their climb to Tier 1. They've said it before, this is a project that is aiming to ascend. They have improved from Split 1 into Split 2, into Challengers EMEA performances, and now, again, another win, another victory, another title to their name, boosting their accolades, boosting their confidence as well going into the final Split 3 of EMEA. And I'm just excited to see how far these guys can push it. Because again, like we said, the Ascension spot is already secured in regards to the points that they've been able to build up so far. And Challengers EMEA is almost more of a victory lap, I feel, for this team. If they can get the victory there too.
Sure. It's not just what they were able to do. It's how they were able to do it. It was breezy, it was clean, and now they're back-to-back Challengers Northeast champions. There's some stuff that can be broken down, but we'll leave it to the analysts to do it. There's also an interview underway, so folks, stay tuned. But throwing this over to Twiggy and Zesht.
Some stuff to break down for sure. Yeah, I mean, look, here's my breakdown for that series is that without tech pauses, no map took more than 45 minutes there. That was absolutely dominant from Enterprise Esports. They were never in doubt on any of those maps for even a moment, just taking the lead at every single point. Team Liquid Academy, it was a catch-up game. Look, we're not going to take away from what they've accomplished this split. They've done a very good job of getting into second position, but by far and away the best team in Northeast, and possibly the best team still in EMEA, is Enterprise Esports.
Yeah, most certainly. I mean, this last map has absolutely shown you how the actual first and second one looked like as well. Domination, never giving the control away, and Team Liquid Academy stood there without a plan, without an idea, without an adaptation. It's a tough game because Enterprise is one of the more diverse, unpredictable teams that can play a lot of playstyles within a half and not within a season. And this is what I really respect from them. You see that the groundworks of Valorant, that this is something that the team and Alex as a coach have worked on, and it exactly looks like this. It is a rough one, and you know, you said it, Team Liquid Academy, even though they lost, you can't take away that this team was bombing out after a few losses in stage 2. Now they made it to grand finals again, so big props to them, but the true winner and the clear winner, Enterprise Esports.
Speaking of Enterprise Esports, I mean, it feels like our day has barely just got started, but we have an interview here with Zeke now. And look, I mean, what a series. You guys, look, last time I talked to you, you said, you know, there's still stuff to work on, right? We're still not kind of, maybe not ready to go into Challengers EMEA, but kind of that gist of things. It was, you guys weren't at your peak. You felt like there were still things to patch up. Is that what you meant?
I mean, yeah. I mean, the game was so anticlimactic and boring. Like, there's not much for me to say on this interview, guys. Not gonna lie. No matter what question you give me, I'm so bored. Like, they won 30 rounds in 3 maps. Not gonna lie. We expected this to be, like, harder, the game. We prepared good for them. I mean, we were back to form. Like, you can see that everyone individually, you know, is just back. So it's a good sign for the challengers, and now we just have to grind for it. We have no off day tomorrow. We insta start. We prepare new map pool, and we're gonna fucking we're gonna destroy them.
Careful! That's how bored you are, my lord. You're gonna get us demonetized. Look, so I've got one thing, I guess, to ask, really. As you say, there isn't really much to talk about, right? You've just kind of made the adaptations happen, and it's good. The ban from Lotus, was that just kind of offhanded, or are you still working on Lotus?
I can say. It's gonna be a surprise for you guys in Challengers, you know. Maybe we permaban, maybe we have something prepared, can't say.
Okay.
This time I have secrets. I was open until now, but this time I have secrets.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Look, I'm not gonna delve into it. We'll see you in Challengers EMEA, of course. Look, you have to retain that title, right? Do you think you are now ready to face, well, BBL Pacific again, or any other team that contends with you?
I mean, BBL Pacific became a little bit weaker, you know, now that Comeback is not here. So I think we are ready to face them, you know. Maybe there are there's some new threats coming into the Challengers. Now that we have Ascension, you know, it's not life or death for us, but we still want to get points because of the seeding. So we are looking at some formidable opponents. I don't think BBL is our top priority now, even though we have beef with them. I think we're gonna have new targets like Job Life, you know. Individually, these guys like are all insane. So that's my answer, I think.
Okay, great. Look, there's nothing else to say. You got it done so quickly. We can all go and you've already had dinner apparently, but we can go and have dinner now that we're done with that. You got caught in 4K on that one. Eating. That was unfortunate, man. If that happened to me, I would have been I would have been very angry. Either way,
I mean,
look, man, congratulations.
Yeah, I just wanted to speed
No, of course not. You have to have
I
something to do. Congratulations, man. Look, amazing series.
Thank you.
All right, I mean, we will see them again in Challengers EMEA, but until then, they have staked their claim once again on Northeast. 2 times in a row, this time around way more convincingly.
It was exactly, you know, Alex R said in the interview when they were already beating them 2-0, we never thought it would be this close. And that was when they were beating them 13-10 and 13-11. And now... To be honest, this was going to happen. This had to happen. Enterprise's trajectory has been consistently upward, even if there have been tough games. And this is one of the great things only great teams do. They show up when it matters. And this is what a lot of great teams in Valorant have shown. They showed up when it matters. All those best of threes before, they look tight, they look complicated. There's this team, there's that team that somehow took maps off of them. But this was not even close. And today was important. It had the gravitas. And they are made out of that material to be potential champion, to be a potential VCT team. We'll see that.
Absolutely. Yeah, we will see. I mean, here's the playoffs bracket. I don't think you need any reminding after today's events who the winners of Northeast are. But in case you blinked and missed the whole series, here you are. First place, Enterprise Esports. They made their way through without really a massive challenge at any point. Of course, a lot of these series were relatively close, but they had it under control at every single point. They did not let Team Liquid Academy take a single map against them in the whole of the playoffs, so fully deserved that victory. And I'm certain that this is the strongest team going into Challengers EMEA at this point, especially in the run of form that they are. Oh, you made a little face there.
I don't want to go there. Too early. Always with patience.
Yeah, that's fair. Look, I've got to set up like the
Yeah, sell
gauntlet
it,
for
sell it
everybody
to the
else,
people,
right? I've got to sell it, right? There are representatives. You got to back them anyway. Look,
No
I
CGN,
didn't
no
think...
me.
No. Yeah, of course. Hey, you're on Northeast right now. Careful what you say, buddy. Careful what you say. I really didn't think we'd be ending today that quickly. This is this has been a very short day to make up for yesterday's events, I guess. So thank you once again for joining me, Zesh. Thank you to Summer and Pavlos for your very short stint on the cast, and thank you to production and the admins. Thank you to the viewers. Do you have anything else you want to say before we leave?
Absolute pleasure. Anytime again. 5 out of 5. 5 out of 7 would come again.
Wonderful. That's good to hear. We will look at getting you back on. Either way, thank you so much, everybody. That'll be it for us for this split. We'll see you for Challengers EMEA relatively shortly, but until then, thank you for watching and goodbye.
Hmm.